We cover Liberia like nobody else does. This is Spoon 107.5 FM.
Seven minutes up to 10 a.m. here in Liberia. A pleasant good morning to you, wherever it is you are listening to us from. We'd love to welcome you. It's been a very drizzly morning here in most parts of Monrovia. My name is Diamond Slanger. I'd love to say good morning to you again. Good afternoon, good evening to all those of you watching us from various parts of the world this morning. Well, a lot of things happening in the country. We will be crisscrossing from the Capitol Hill to our various correspondents scattered around the country. This capital impasse is shy of 2 months since everything began up Capitol Hill with an attempt to oust Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa. We've seen different edges, we've seen different angles. We've even gotten the latest update of alleged death threats and the rest of the things happening. A political mixture. The Supreme Court handed down its opinion on the matter. But before we do all of the pleasantries and all of the introductions, let's go up Capitol Hill immediately where Sylvester Cholo plays live.
All right, so this
We
is
apologize
the
for the lack of sound.
a press car,
working
and
on
it's
that
being
to bring
allowed.
the audio
All right,
quality
so
as well.
here we are. You have the
But
security.
this is live
officers,
from
Liberia
up
National
Capitol
Police.
Hill,
They are all
where we've
posted
got
right there.
Sylvester Choloplay,
In
who's
fact,
there
outside
at
of the gate, itself, you
Capitol
have
building,
the
bringing us images.
security
Today is
posted.
slated,
The
according to the
dominantly
majority
the
black,
officers of the
to be
Liberia National
budget
Police
yearing
were
as
posted.
well. So let's see if
Before
we
you
can
enter
get you,
here,
the
they
audio
must
there
know
from
you
Sylvester
from which
Choloplay's live that he's
branches of the
doing,
Liberian
to
government
be
you
able
are
to
coming from,
not just get
so
the
as to
visual but audio as well.
as to make sure that those who are being invited by the majority bloc for hearing do not enter. Matter of fact, you listen to me. None of the members of the executive branch will enter here today, and the majority bloc is expecting members of the executive branch to be here. So there we are. All right. So the majority bloc members are all over there, parading the grounds of the Capitol building. Not only this gate, but the other gate on that side, they are there, making sure that members from the executive branch do not enter here. So it's not only this gate, they are going around the entire building to making sure that those officials who were invited by the majority bloc do not enter here. So we are going to see what will happen on this day, and whether, as it stands, the minority bloc or the fanatic cover bloc will win, and win in the sense that not allow members or officials from the executive to enter here, or at a later time, the majority bloc will be on this ground to make sure that people they invited enter. So we are witnessing the entire saga, and at the end of the day, we will know exactly who wins. All right, and this is following the ruling last week from the Supreme Court of Liberia, describing the action of the lawmakers here at the Capitol building as ultra virus, and at the Supreme Court of Liberia asked lawmakers to work or conduct themselves accordingly. So here we are. Today is Monday. It is not a official working day of the legislators, all right? But here we are. Normally on Monday you will see this place. It is not really. It's not tense. It's not packed to the extent. Usually you see Tuesday and Thursday. Those are the working days for legislators. But today's Monday, and we see what is happening here. All right. Here we are. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So we'll try to find the lawmakers again and see where they are, because like we told you, they are parading around the entire building, making sure that the members of the executives do not enter here. All right, so here we are here. So we're trying our best to talk to Honorable Yeka Koluba here. We earlier on. Honorable, welcome to School TV. I listened to you a few minutes ago that none of the executive members will enter here today. We just want to know your reasons why you.
Political issue. The president have acknowledged that there is a political issue, and we should handle it. The president have acknowledged that we are political people, and we carry on political issues. So when the executive stay away.
But the quote-unquote majority bloc is expecting members of the executive to come to work.
Bossman, let the executive stay away from our political issues. The best thing Joseph Walker can do is to send for the people. Let them come. Then we'll stop the chaos. We are political. No, when lawmakers come, they are lawmakers. They are to be here. But when people from the executive come, we'll not give them the chance to be here.
All right, so folks, we at this point we have to go off. Let me see. Yes, we have to go off and join our team in studio to continue our normal broadcast right there.
Thank
But
you.
we are coming
Thank you so
on.
much, Sylvester Cholople, for bringing us up to speed. We do have Trokon Flammer, who's currently on the grounds of the capital. Good morning to you, Trokon. How are you, and what's happening at where you at this moment, sir?
Good morning, Damo, and good morning to our listening public and all those who are following us via the internet and other platforms across the country. Today we are here again this morning. The grounds of the Capitol building is seriously charged in terms of security, in terms of staffers, in terms of unknown men, in terms of the speaker lawmakers, they are here on the grounds of the Capitol building. So we're going to see what's going to happen this morning, Dama. They are here trying to, by all means, prevent those lawmakers, the majority bloc, from holding their quote unquote budget hearing today. So, as you
Trokon, I
see,
want to interrupt you a bit and
representative.
bring on the rest of the team here in studio. We've got Dennis Nipson is here, as well as Yekezi Sobe. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Yeke. How are you doing this morning?
Morning, Damon. Um, uh, good to be here again.
So, Damo, are you still there?
Okay. Chokon, we have to hold you there for a minute. You watching what's unfolding as we all have been for weeks now. We headed to the 8th week since this started up Capitol Hill in an attempt to oust Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa, who has held on as long as we have counted. Looking at lawmakers now, interestingly, you do see rivals becoming political allies, whether temporary or it will lead to permanent, political relationships. But you see Yeke Koluba and Marvin Cole working hands in hands and trying to obstruct what is planned to be budget hearing today for various spending entities of the government of Liberia.
Okay, yeah. This is something that I think is not first. It's not good for our country.
Yeah, let me just hold you for a minute. Let's hear what Marvin Cole is saying.
Actors from the executive, the finally coming in, they are creeping in, the parking. We are only helping the country to enforce what the court has said. No illegal setting here. So if we keep the play open, you don't know all of the ministers. One person can carry a power by you and enter. That's what we're trying to enforce.
Mariko, are you a law enforcer to implement a code mandate?
I am the law enforcer on the ground of the capital because I chair the rules order and administration. That is the responsibility.
From the side of the speaker?
No, not from the side. No, you need to be a decent journalist because if the Supreme Court rules and say the speaker is the speaker, the people you remove, you can't remove the police says that you can't lock this in. Assuming the police says that you can't lock this in. No, the police can't say because they are questioning. No, they can't. But the police are questioning. No, they can't. The police are law-abiding citizens.
Do you think the police are supposed to question you at this ground?
No, they don't have to. They are not questioning me. They only telling me that you have an information to offer. If you are changing that information, no problem. So we are okay.
So you are implementing a code mandate.
The country is being locked down because when the political ground is being locked down, definitely.
So we are still here, as we heard from Representative Cole and the rest of the people. They are saying they are implementing the code mandate.
So we do see a large contingent of police officers arriving. Because you were in flight. Just go ahead and do your introduction, Dennis, as well, and then we can go back to what's unfolding here.
What's happening is concerning for our country because at about this time, I mean, the budget debate or the budget hearing should have been long conducted if the lower house wasn't split. But by this time, we have gone very far with the debate of the budget, and we all know how the budget is a key instrument for the execution of the government agenda. So this entire impasse at the lower house, I mean, is something that has the propensity to strangulate the economy. If
Folks,
here,
we are still here, making sure that members of the majority bloc have started arriving here at the Capitol building. So as you can see, this is the first group of the members of the majority bloc, and they have been heavily guarded by officers of the Liberia National Police, and especially the PSU unit. And they are marching. A moment ago, we have members of the minority of Kofa bloc. They were here, and it seems like they are also looking for the Kofa bloc to see what to do. But we stay here and see what to do next. Right, yes. The members of the majority bloc have started arriving here, and they are going to the usual area.
Totally. How many members of the majority bloc, have arrived so far?
So I'm seeing here, let me do the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 persons, so 5, yes, 4 lawmakers from the majority bloc just arrived here. We try to speak. So you just arrived here, but the fanatic so we want to know whether
So we do see the spokesman of the food family of one county. And there is actually a police presence escorting them as well.
Legal alone, battle we hope to see continuously at the capital. So we don't see any end to this thing at any point in time or sooner, we see.
Yeah, so one particular portion of the Supreme Court's opinion that stated that yes, majority, minority, and the minority can compel the other members who are absent, but there is not a definite or clear way spelled out by the laws to compel them to come to session. That alone, how is it going to work out? I do see EPS officers as well. I do see one EPS officer, whether he's assigned to a minister or to to the majority, quote unquote, Speaker Richard Kunkun, but we haven't seen him yet. But let's rejoin Sylvester Cholople, and that is a sticky issue for Speaker Kofa as to how to bring or compel those absent members to come to session.
And I'm seeing the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police, Cecilia Clark, along, amongst the police.
The quote-unquote speaker is here.
Okay, so Richard
Kunkun has just arrived here as well. That's the speaker of the majority bloc just arriving, and he's being accompanied with some of his colleagues from the majority bloc here. They keep arriving, and that's what we are seeing. So for the angle of the majority bloc, it seems like they are now in full number, and their info number to begin their business, despite prevention from the fanatical block that no session or members of the executive branch will enter here. But we have started seeing.
Let me interrupt you a bit. Have you seen any member of the executive branch who's supposed to be there today for these budget hearings? Have you seen any of them?
Absolutely no, Diamond. I have not seen any of the members who to be. I mean, not even those that the majority bloc have invited here, but I have not seen any executive member making an attempt to enter here. Earlier on, we saw the forensic cover block, at the gate, preventing any members from the executive branch enter here. But we are about to see, since the majority members, they are in full. In fact, the local speaker, Richard Kuhn, just arrived here. We are here to see whether in the next few minutes that session will begin, and those that they invited will also be here. And if they will be here, what actions they will be taking to make sure that members from the executive are protected. So that's why we are still here observing as to what exactly majority bloc will do to protect members from the executive branch.
Thank you, Cholople. We'll hold you there for a minute and join Trokon Flama, who's pound of the Capitol building. Trokon, you can kindly unmute and come on as we bring you full screen to tell us.
Okay, Damon, a very quick information. I have been told that the Minister of Finance is here. He's here, the Minister of Finance, but I have not seen, but I have been reliably told that the Minister of Finance is already in the building. So we will try our best to lay our camera on him once we see him. And that's the information I want you to have, Diamond.
Thank you, Cholople. So remain posted right there. We want to speak to Trokon Flama guys for a minute. Remember, Cholople is within the building and Trokon Flama is outside within the compound of the Capitol. We did see the members of the majority bloc being escorted by very heavy police presence. Members of the police response unit, the PSU, and wearing their full riot gears as well, Dennis. We're observing what's unfolding up Capitol Hill is getting juicier by the minute. The budget hearings, whether or not they're going to be held, Cholople has informed us that the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Augustine Kwehe Gafwan, is somewhere there up Capitol Hill. But where he is currently, we cannot tell you that, but our cameras posted, and we'll bring you all of what is unfolding. Let's now bring on Trokon Flama for a minute. Trokon, where exactly are you now? Trokon. Okay, so Trokon is not hearing us. We want him to be posted outside. But Denise, I begin with you. I'm looking at what is unfolding. Can you say that the executive has played its hands already?
So I won't want to, actually be definite in terms of whether the executive, has its hand in this in terms of supporting the majority bloc. But from the look of things,
1 minute, we do see Dixon Sibo. Let's take Dixon Sibo there quickly and hear exactly what he's saying there. So let's see if we can bring on Cholople to tell us what Dixon Sibo is saying. So Cholople, you have to unmute.
Yeah, that's why the police the partisan police office, partisan police,
Trokon, what did Representative Sibo say? Cholople, if you're hearing us, Cholople, please unmute your microphone, sir, so that we can get the audio from where you are. Kindly unmute your microphone, Cholople. Okay, so we go outside. So as others including your end, we do see something chaotic. What's unfolding? So, folks, we do apologize. We will get it right as our correspondence, moving about. It's a tight space. These things happen. But Denise, the question to you, seeing members of the executive allegedly or reportedly coming to these budget hearings, even after the Supreme Court, has said the actions of some actions of members of the House of Representatives were ultra various, right? And we do see this happening, attending these budget hearings, even though the Supreme Court has said that there should be the presence of a speaker. The majority members will argue that they do have a speaker in Richard Kunkun, and they do have the number to conduct business. Has the executive played its hand? That is my question by attending these hearings.
Yeah, so all along, and the issue about whether the executive had hand in the entire situation was a bit dangling, that people couldn't, actually validate or come to a realization that the executive is supporting the SAR. But if we see now that this budget hearing, if the finance minister, will be appearing before the majority bloc today, that will show that some way or the other, the executive is a bit, in favor of the majority bloc in terms of doing business with the majority bloc, because we all know that the budget is submitted by the executive. So if the finance minister appear before the majority bloc, then it shows that the executive supports the majority bloc. And I was surprised also to see that the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police is in the gathering there, and at where we saw the majority bloc, there. So it also shows that there's some support, from that end as well. So we hope to see what will be the outcome. Like Cholope said, the finance minister is in the building. He's so want to see whether he would actually go before the majority bloc.
Okay, so let's take this layout here quickly, and guys, kindly. Haji, what is happening? Haji, where you are? What's happening?
I got my boy. So going forward, we will ensure that nobody else enters and no government official enters. If you want to make this country better, we can make it better today.
Haji, what is unfolding?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
What is happening there? I do see
So there is a serious commotion. You have representatives from the block, Dixie Sibo, Luther Collins, District 16 representative, Monserrato, Great Judah County representative. So they are all here. They want to ensure that they enter the office of representative, Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala. But the security have been given clear instruction that no one in, no one out. But the Deputy Sibo, who is the chair on Ways, Means and Finance, is saying that he will ensure that there is no budget hearing here up Capitol Hill. I can also see Opi Kofa, you can see the West Share, you can see Debbie is there, Luther Collins is also here, you can see with a face cap. He wants to ensure that he enters the office of the Deputy Speaker. They are all here, so the police have been given clear instruction that no one in, no one out. Damo.
How did Representative Steve say he will ensure that no member of the executive enters the office of Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala? What means?
So at the moment, the budget hearing is supposed to start with the Ministry of Finance being into team, but The majority block in a session constituted committee, so they have ways and means, chairman, so that is Pima Jury. But the people who have been, suspended from the committee is showing that there is no budget hearing. He also here with his, personal staff and other men.
Denise, Haji, have you seen the speaker Thomas Kala?
Damo, I will now hear you. I'm stopping to hear you because of the noise. So this is let me just tell you that this is the gentleman in the first cap is Luther Collins from Papolu County. This is where he's back. They are all confronting. They are all in scuffle with the security officers.
So Yekazi's question is it in the office of Deputy Speaker Thomas Kala that these hearings are to take place?
So what we are hearing is that representatives from the Ministry of Finance are already here in the office of the Deputy Speaker. We are not sure because we learned that the Finance Minister has traveled over the weekend. So what we have gathered is that representatives from the Ministry of Finance are already here, and the budget hearing supposed to start with the Ministry of Finance giving an official statement. That is when the whole budget process, hearing start with an official statement.
Okay, just hold on there for a minute, Haji. Let's bring on Professor Cholople. Cholople, we do see your end of the capital is as dark as early dawn. What is happening there at your end? LEC gone? Cholople. I'm going. Haji, bring us up to speed. I do see men pushing against each other. Haji. These are lawmakers. They're pushing. Haji Masale. If you're listening to us all across the country, this was holding my lawmaker. This is very imperfect. This gentleman seems to be from the majority black because he's going back to the board. The lawmakers are laughing. So Yeka Koluba has arrived. He's being as well. So the core Deputy Speaker Thomas Kala is a coalition right now where you have all of the wrestling taking profusely. Stand your ground is what is happening. Haji.
I cannot answer him right now because they have started using pepper spray in the all over the building at the hallway of the various buildings. I mean, the various hallways have been sprayed with.
So Cholople, who sprayed the pepper spray? Who released the pepper spray?
So that pepper spray has been released by officers who have come to make sure that our lives have been are protected. You know, I can see some lawmakers
According to common pepper spray as we captured our
I mean, it's unfortunate to know that spray was released, whether it's the police or security, because you can the lawmakers whether it's police that release the pepper spray or supporters of the majority or minority bloc, the supporters of the minority bloc is something that we are working on.
So you see that everybody is that's
Guys, this is it seems that Labra is going back to the dark days.
So folks, those of you listening to us, the police pushing they were right in front of the door of Deputy Speaker Thomas Kunkun, including representatives alike, are being pushed back by the Nigerian National Police to get a clearer distance between those people and the door of Deputy Speaker Thomas police, that is using force now. It is in a close quarter riot. Probably, are you there? Chairs broken. You can see broken chairs all in the hallway. Go ahead, Chulapli.
Tamo, you hear me?
Yeah, Haji, we can hear you loud and clear. Bring us up to speed. We did see the police repelling those guys who were trying to forcibly enter the office of Deputy Speaker Thomas P. Falla. What's the latest there?
So what really happened is that the police tried to maintain the situation, but there were other guys who said that no lawmakers from the Kofa block will enter the office of the deputy speaker. Then no additional police force will come here. So the police was under restraint to push them all the way. So we have a representative like you saw Yaka Koluba, you saw Dexy Sibo, you saw all of lawmakers, but there are some office staffers who have confronted the police officer, stating that there is no additional police force will come here. Tama, I want to take questions from you if you want to interpret what others are saying in the background, because I'm not hearing anyone.
All right. So my question is, we did see other lawmakers. If I'm right, Thomas Goshua, right? Are they from the minority of Speaker Kofa or from the majority of?
Yeah. So the group you saw just entering, the group is part of the minority. They have just entered. You saw them being led by people who is the former chair on Waste, Means, Finance and Development Planning. So they have gotten report that the representatives from the Ministry of Finance are here to start the budget hearing, and they are bent on refusing for any budget hearing to be held here today.
Why are you breaking the table?
He's sweating.
Why are you breaking the table?
And they're pushing more journalists. How do you be careful? Oh.
You disappear police? All right. Hey, and I just shut it down. You know,
to a police officer that you will regret. So folks, we want to make it clear that these are chaotic scenes. Not so friendly words will be used. It's doing a different network, but we cannot equally filter what's being said on a live broadcast as well. These are now friendly times up Capitol Hill, and exchanges will be vulgar as well.
Today is budget hearing, and anything that is not done accordingly can be stopped.
And Damon and Dennis, as the budget hearing, process continues on tomorrow, I think this thing will be more and more chaotic because now that members of the minority bloc, have observed they just go recalibrate and come back to prepare on tomorrow.
Okay. Let's listen in to exchanges.
Where the deputy speaker is our colleague. He is our colleague. He's just better than anybody. He's our colleague. And so we insist there will be no hearing. You can do one thing. You can start feeding our shooting gun because we're not lying. And we are so serious. You're bringing weapons. We are serious about that because this is. And that's
All right, so folks, more updates for you from up Capitol Hill, from one of our many correspondents that we do have stationed around to bring you all of what is unfolding. We can tell you for sure that the budget hearing, the session slated for the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning is about to start. Denise and everybody else listening and watching. According to one of our correspondents, the majority black are about to begin their budget hearing featuring the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So whilst all of the commotion is ongoing outside, behind those doors, they're about to kickstart the budget hearing. So all of what you see a lawmaker doing ninja. Yeah, remember as kids doing ninja and with the shirt, tied around his nose and all of these things. So people getting to see the other side of those who are meant to be called honorable. You saw Dixon Sibo breaking a table or attempting to break a table. As to what he was going to do with the table after breaking it, that is another thing. He was unsuccessful in breaking a table, but let's see if Trokon can unmute so that we can get a gist of what's happening inside the budget hearing room. So Trokon, kindly unmute and bring us up to speed.
Handkerchief or anything to black his nose from the from the pepper spray.
So you expect Yeke to be tactical.
The man used to the pepper spray. That's why.
All right. So Denise bringing a bit of humor to all of this, but it's not humorous up Capitol Hill as well. It is not. Folks, we can tell you for sure that there's been confrontation, there's been violence, there's been the beating of one particular gentleman, a lawmaker issuing threat to a police officer that you will regret. A lot of unfriendly words being exchanged as well. But we want to bring you not just outside where the chaos is happening, but inside where the executive is availing itself to the majority bloc to begin budget hearings, starting with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So while we bring you that, we will be bringing you audio and visual, from the outside of the Capitol, right before the door of Representative of Deputy Speaker Thomas Falla and the rest of the angles as well. Let's bring you audio from the chaotic scenes.
Access to our colleague Thomas Falla, and they brought all of the ministers in here. They got tear gas, they got baton, they got
Haji remaining right there. Please do not leave that location. Just be right at that spot. It is prime location as well. We're trying to bring you scenes from within the budget hearing featuring the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So folks, wherever it is you listening to us from across Liberia, this is a production of the Spoon Network. My name is Diamond Slanger. Dennis Nipson is here, and we do have our team scattered all across not just the Capitol grounds, but across Liberia, as this broadcast is being listened and relayed on several stations across the country. Scenes from the Capitol been sparked by an announcement by the majority black outlining a list of budget hearings to begin today. But somewhere again, the lights are off and on, and we started off this morning with majority members in an attempt to prevent majority members and members of the executive from attending these budget hearings. And then we did see the majority black members being heavily escorted by officers of the Liberia National Police, and we are here today. This all started on the 17th of October 2020.
Yes, and we continue to see the ongoing situation. Yes, so we continue to see the ongoing situation, and waiting to chaos and faces of chaotic scene. We don't know what next thing they will bring, because the lawmakers from both sides are resolved, and it doesn't offer well for the country, because all of hope help from the growth of the country. Lawmakers so that the country, the next draft budget that has been presented, the lawmakers are going to go back to their offices, instead of having this because they want to enter the office, and they have refused them. So in a given situation, you are honorable as your need depicts. You don't have the police being pushing you, away, taking on you because you refuse to adhere to orders. So I think they think twice in terms of how they are approached in handling the situation, because it doesn't offer well at this point in time.
Thank you so much, Denise. We'll leave you with the audio from one of our members today. Listen to Lawmaker.
You put your hands for me, they said, I know you, and you pay for it. Some of you are rebels and you're putting the police. Assaulted me. You say you were paid for it. I said you were paid for it. I'm a lawmaker. You want me? I would lose to the IG. This thing will have to go on. I know you are recording it, right? There's somebody that assaulted me. I never touched it. I never touched it. He saw me going in there in an office. He held me back and assaulted me. He wants something. It's in one of the offices. He assaulted me. Yes, I don't have any reason to go in and help me. He's my colleague. I can go in your office anytime. Yeah, look, that's corporate. That's corporate. You have my office anytime. I go to the office anytime. I can be prevented. There's no the police are there's a problem. This is not a problem yet. This is not a problem. That in our offices, the police have no reason coming in. I'm your colleague, you know you're my son. You people are more lawmakers than we do. My friend, you people cannot bring people to put on last one day. You say what? I'm responding. That's the man. There is nothing to have. There is nothing to have.
Sylvester Cholople, what's happening at your end, sir? So we've lost Sylvester there, probably due to internet connectivity issues. And once Sylvester is back, he is going to tell us what's happening outside within the compound of the Capitol, but within the building just before the door of Deputy Speaker Thomas P. Falla, where we've been told these hearings are to either take place or where they'll have these officials of government sit in the waiting and where they will then do their budget hearing. We haven't been told the exact room where all of this will be happening. That person looks like someone.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, Haji, is that Chairman Koga of the majority?
Honorable Koka, welcome to the media. You are here. It's in the office of the Deputy Speaker. You are seeing your police, you are seeing police officer. What do you think is happening right now?
People are burying the seal and
Police, can we talk to Honorable Koka?
Their behavior is abnormal. They're not behaving like honorable person. No honorable can face blow. When you come, whenever there are situations, you address it in an orderly manner. That's a rule here. But you can't come and invade the privacy of an individual. Father, the deputy speaker office is a legitimate office assigned to him. Even us, if we are entering, basically, he tell us that he basically, you don't force. So nobody create scene.
Is that what the police are doing to forcing away?
Exactly. The weather for when deflated car tires on the ground. It's wrong.
Whose car is that?
Don't forget it.
Your colleague is saying that he's supposed to have access to other representatives by any time. And you say that the speaker cannot, the deputy speaker cannot have access to what he's supposed.
But when you go to Chimo, you get access to all.
At all
In my
times.
office, if you come at basic, I can take that basic.
Will there be any consequences, that they will bear because of the action today?
Just watch. And you're going to see afterwards.
They
have forgot, considering the fact that the court get up ruling on this particular case, and today your blood is here to conduct normal section, the hearings of the budget. Do you think your actions is sparking up all of this debate from the angle of the Kofa side?
Who are you really seeing agitating? The majority members are current in the process because they know they are on the right path. These guys want to force themselves to power that does not belong to them. We are taking the authority from them, and we are encouraging our police to join on my colleague from Grand Gila County. So my colleague from Grand Gila County, we are encouraging them to join. So
if they encourage me not to be police here, if they encourage me not to be police here.
So the first
they are the ones who are annoyed.
Is the budget hearing ongoing, or what do we expect with the budget hearing?
Before you behave,
So, Damo, this is a representative from the Ministry of Finance. He's been given access, but Honorable Debbie, you see that he want to, he make a way there. So, Damo, can you see what is being displayed?
Yes, Haji, we are following every frame, every audio decibel. We're listening, and just continue as well.
So we have Crystal entering. We have representatives from the Ministry of Finance entering, but Honorable Debbie is from Grand Jida. He's being presented on grounds that he's from the minority. And for you listen to Honorable Koga, the lawmakers who are being prevented are not coming to the office of the Deputy Speaker peaceably. They are coming with some sort of that are unorthodox, and they cannot be given access to the office of the Deputy Speaker.
All right, Haji, we will keep you posted out there and remain with your audio. Now we have and once it gets underway, we'll be bringing you coverage from not just outside, but within these budget hearings as well. Our other crew members are stationed at other vantage points across the capital to bring you a 360 view of what's happening up Capitol Hill. So, Liberians, you can rest assured that the Spoon Network has got you covered. Let's now bring on Representative Yeke Koluba and get audio as he's being talked to by our colleague Sylvester Cholople. Cholople, can you unmute your mic, sir, and allow us to do the muting and unmuting from main studio?
Damo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Haji, go ahead.
Okay, so during budget hearing, every county is represented by at least one person. So what you are seeing here are people representatives that are entering are people who are representing their favorite counties on the budget committee. That's why you see lawmakers, entering the office of the Deputy Speaker.
each county represented by at least one representative, right? This representative from Grand Jida County, is he the one chosen to represent his county in these hearings?
So he was not chosen. He wasn't chosen. There's a lady. So there's a lady that just entered from Grand Jida County. She was the one properly chosen on the budget committee, not the deputy, because during the time of the formulation of the committee, these lawmakers were around.
Let's listen to their conversation, Haji.
Get the police out. I will get police out. Why you got police there to do? Because lawlessness is taking place. Because you are lawless. No. You are lawless. You are. Yeah, you brought them. They are supporting you. You brought them to cut my body. Yeah, because I didn't fight. They prevented me from entering. You brought them. You brought them to fire us. Yeah, you brought them to fire us. You put up a police to black us. You brought bandits to black us. Yeah, continue. There's a higher, so the next year people so the higher every day you bring the police, they can bring the money. I don't like the kind of thing. For me, you can't go to my office, not go to your office. No, don't talk to me. Why? Are you an enemy? You are my enemy. You are my enemy. So bring police. No, don't touch me. For now until the next year, Go kill me. For now, the next year, you are never my friend. For now, the next year, you are never my friend. All of you, we have drawn the line to bring police, to assault me, your colleague, to bring police, to harm me. You are never my friend. All of you, including Fala, you are never my friends anymore. I'm telling you, you don't know me. You are my enemy. To bring police to kill me, I was elected the same way you were elected. While you're done, you are declared war on my district. You have declared war on my district, and that's why you shouldn't know. You have declared war on my district, including Fala. And this thing will continue on the next year. I think I'll be continuing police. You have continue bringing police. If that's the way I want to do. For the next year, I want you to continue to come.
Yeah, we're begging you. We know that you are still one and zoom your camera.
Gentlemen, let's reach our purpose.
All right, so the live update we have for you, not just from outside, but where these budget hearings are to be taking place. From our latest updates, the Ministry of Finance, remember the Minister proper, Augustine Kwehe Gafwan, is out of the country. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning is being represented by Deputy Minister for Budget, Madam Tane Bromson. So she's representing the Ministry of Finance. So while all of the commotion is ongoing outside, Denise, budget hearings about to take place.
Exactly, and this serve as distraction to ensure that the rightful purpose for which they have convened will take place.
Okay, so folks, this is the Spoon Network bringing you full coverage of what's happening up Capitol Hill, dubbed chaotic capital. Liberia has since been engulfed in an impasse up Capitol Hill. An attempt to oust the Speaker Jonathan Fanati Kofa has been met with a very, very stiff resistance, not just by the Speaker, the embattled Speaker, but also his supporters as well. The country has expressed divided views on this matter. There are those who have called for Speaker Kofa to step aside. Others have said the Speaker should hold on as much as possible for as long as possible, so that the rule of law can be followed. From one scene to another, we had a Supreme Court episode, not just from a justice in chamber, but before the full bench of the Supreme Court. An opinion was rendered by the Supreme Court terming the actions of some actions of members of the House of Representatives as ultra various. Well, today we've seen that the self-styled rebellious majority bloc has scheduled a budget hearings. Yes, budget hearings, because the executive submitted the budget to the deputy chief clerk to the House of Representatives. The Speaker bloc have said the budget was hijacked, by the majority bloc. But today, they have, started their budget hearing, even though to unsuccessful so far attempts by member of the minority bloc to repel and stop these members of the executive from having these budget hearings slated for today. We do see Marvin Cole, Yeke Koluba, and the rest is still moving around the building as to whether or not they've gone for reinforcement to disturb or obstruct these hearings. But let's stick with our camera guys and bring you all of what is happening. Haji, remain right there. We have one of our reporters with these guys, so do not leave where you at, Haji. Just be aware you at, and let's bring in the audio from this particular angle. Haji, kindly unmute your microphone and allow us to do the muting and unmuting from controls, please. What's happening?
Hello. We say hello to. Oh, okay. No problem. I understand it.
So just what is happening, please speak to us.
So, Honorable Yega Koroba and his colleagues, according to that, they just noticed that members of the executive want to enter the building and to go in the majority block area. And that's why they are preventing going from one place to place. That's why you see that.
So when you say they're moving from one place to place now, make us understand they're moving from one room to the other or anywhere the ESA executive members want to go there. Cholo play.
Don't push me, man. Don't push me. Don't push me, bro.
Go ahead, Dennis.
So, Damo, as part of the budget hearing that we anticipate to see, we also receiving information that representatives from LRA are also present at the Capitol as well. Will be part, of the hearing as well.
Okay, so as per the schedule
Yes.
released by the majority Black members, headed by their speaker, Richard Nangbe-Kun, the Ministry of Finance is slated to appear today. The Liberia Revenue Authority is also slated to appear today.
Yes.
So the Finance Ministry is represented by Deputy Minister for Budget, Honorable Taniam Bromson, and we also have LRA representatives. So two of the spending entities and revenue generating entity like the Liberia Revenue Authority have already arrived to honor their schedule.
Exactly. And
All right.
it shows that they are adhering to, the majority block.
Okay. Let's bring back Cholo Play on his audio and see what's happening outside. Let's see if we can bring Cholo Play on. We do see some commotion. The camera is kind of glitchy and sticky, blurry. But Cholo Play, what's happening?
She's from the Ministry of Finance, and she is being prevented now for entering. So, as you can see, she's making communication to us for consultancy and see what she does next. But she has been prevented. Earlier on, we saw Yeke Koluba and other representatives asking her or denying her of the entries of where the majority block normally do their business. So she's now leaving. She's now leaving, folks. On the executive.
So is she departing the grounds of the capital after being prevented from entering Cholo Plate?
Diamond, what's the question, please?
Is the finance representative, the representative from the Ministry of Finance, leaving the grounds of the capital?
Definitely, the representative for the Ministry of Finance, who has been denied access to the chambers because we saw Honorable Yega Koluba and other lawmakers preventing her of entering there. So she's now has to make her way back. All right, so yes. But she's now leaving a vehicle again, like coming back. So we still watching as to what she's going to do exactly. Diamond, and they try, putting her in her vehicle. But later on, we saw some lawmakers, saying, "Come back, you have to go back." So she's now returning again. She's returning. Perhaps she's proceeding to the chambers now to honor the majority block decision.
Capital making more way to where these budget hearings are to occur. So even after an attempt by members of the minority bloc to prevent her from entering, she has entered the Capitol building under very heavy security pressures. Haji. Haji. Haji, if you can hear us. Haji Masale, can you hear us, sir? Folks, it is chaotic. It is energy sapping as well. But we do see the Deputy Minister of Finance for Budget, Tanya Bromson, is under heavy police protection. She has made her way into the building, the Capitol building, and Haji Masale is making his way to the joint chambers as well. Whether this is the venue for these hearings, we will bring you the latest.
We have confirmed that she is the Deputy Minister for Budget and the Ministry of Finance, who is making her way.
More police arriving on the grounds of the Capitol. As well. These ones are armed with rifles as well. The first contingent we saw only had riot preventing gears and materials like and the ballistic shields, but we see more police officers, and these have automatic rifles.
You show it. You are the one. No, I want you there. They never want to show it where you are always in controversy. Show it. Show it. Are you attacking the media? Stop doing it. Are you attacking the media? Are you attacking the media?
All right, so folks, this is the situation here. Diamond, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Nelson. Go ahead, please. You live. Just remove your finger. Okay. That's all.
So, as we
So, folks, we'll rejoin Nelson. Let's bring you more angles from the grounds of the Capitol, not just outside as Nelson Collier is positioned for us, but also, from within, where the divided house, the majority bloc, is poised to begin their budget hearings as well. They've got the draft 2025 national budget with them. These hearings are to be had so that they too can vote on the budgetary spendings of that has been allotted to these government institutions and agencies, whether or not there will be increment or decrement in the budgetary allotment. This is the process. It goes to the Senate for concurrence, and it goes to the executive, to be passed into hand bill. But this is step two. Step one is the executive formulates and submits to the legislature. The legislature debates the budget, and if once they concur, they have a joint committee, they have a concurrence, the Senate to the executive to be printed into hand bill. It becomes a national instrument as well. But we want to bring you more updates. Haji, can you kindly unmute for us and tell us what's the latest from your angle, sir? Haji Masale. So we want to unmute Haji. Haji, what's happening at your end? Haji, can you hear us?
Tam, are you talking to me?
Yes, sir, I am. What's the latest from your end?
So the full team of the Ministry of Finance is already in the office of the Deputy Speaker. So you see me going to the joint chamber is where actually this year will be held, but because of the position of the joint chamber, it was allowed unwanted people to intrude. So in order to place in the kind of security is why the Deputy Speaker office is being used at the moment. So you have the Deputy Minister for Budget, Daniel Bronson, is already in. You have the Deputy Minister for Administration, Bill McGill Jones, already in. You have other assistant ministers and those concerned with the subject matter. James, Damon, sorry.
Thank you, Haji. Let's connect with Nelson Colette. For a minute, we'll keep you there, but let's connect with Nelson Colette to tell us what's the situation outside the chambers and within the compound of the Capitol building as well. Nelson, what's unfolding at your end?
Okay, thanks a lot, Damon. Sorry for the interruption. I hope you can get me better now. Is it much better? Can you hear me well?
Audio is crystal clear, and I'm here with Yekezi Zugbe and Dennis Nipson.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Diamond. We're on the grounds of the legislature, precisely in the stands here at the Capitol building. And first of all, the security presence here is very huge, far more than what we've seen in the past couple of days, or about a month now since this entire saga, kicked off. And Diamond, why making my way here? Trying to make my way through the different entrances. I got words from some of the folks who have been here from this morning that some of them were attacked. Some security officers have complained of being attacked here today by some of the very lawmakers, or some of those folks who are lawmakers or supporters of the lawmakers or security of the lawmakers. At the back entrance of the legislature, Diamond, I after being told that the lawmakers blocked that entire entrance and prevented people from entering the premises of the legislature, I didn't realize that, in fact, they mentioned that there was a new lock bought to block that particular entrance. I did see an evidence of the part of the lock that was used to block the entrance. Some of the folks who I spoke to mentioned Representative Josiah Marvin Cole as one of those persons who was at the forefront of that entire saga. And then just while we were speaking before the interruption, another police officer ran to the backup troop that was brought in by the Liberia National Police to back up the security presence here. The police complaint of being attacked by Representative Yeke Koluba. He started to show evidence of his shirt being torn up, and he said that the lawmaker beat on him and torn up his shirt. And while that was going on, we also saw a huge presence of the police, or perhaps the situation was getting to a point where they needed to get a back up. So it's very tense here on the grounds of the legislature.
Nelson, we have to hold you for a minute. Let's join the where the budget hearing is scheduled.
I still about because I want a prayer. Can we bow? Thank you. Dear Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this special day. We thank you because you have brought us together on a tense condition, but we are still here. We ask you that this particular session should go smoothly so that we can our budget to do the library business. In Jesus' name. Amen. Welcome remarks. I'd like to welcome up all of you here. Honorable Speaker, members from the executive, the full president. I'd like to say welcome. I'd like to give a small protocol on how we'll proceed today before we start business. After the brief remarks of welcoming everyone, we'll make statements. After the statements, we'll close up. We'll work in camera. That is to say, the press will be excused as we conduct business with the executive today on hearing the figures of the revenue. Honorable Speaker, by your permission, if you like, we'll ask you to make a statement, but in the end, after we shall have spoken. So I'd like to say welcome. I'd like to start my statement by referring you to Article 1 of the Constitution, the revised Constitution 1986, Constitution as we call it. And I quote, "All power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by their authority and for their benefit, and they have the right to alter and reform the same when their safety and happiness so require." Unquote. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues, I'd like to begin my statement by saying, I want to say thank you to the spirit of coordination that we have within our three branches of government, for which purpose we have gathered. Quite recently, about a fortnight ago, we received the budget. And in accordance to the legislative practice, the budget has been turned over to the committee, and we have to proceed in this manner. So I will start my remarks with brief references to the budget. The 2025 national budget submitted to the legislature totals $851.76 million. In that, domestic revenue $791.76, which is approximately 93%, and external resources constitute about 60 million, which is approximately 7%. And those external resources are expected to come from the World Bank, to the tune of 40 million, and from the European Bank, the European Union, in the tune of 20 million. Of the domestic revenue component that I referred, tax revenue is about 633.37 million, which constitutes approximately 80%. Non-tax revenue is about 138.5 million, which constitutes 17.4%. and contingency revenue constitute approximately 18.8 million, which is about 2.3%. The budget also has a perspective on how expenditure should be taken. The expenditure proposals to the National Legislature for scrutiny is as follows. Recurrent expenditure is about 598 million, which constitute approximately 70%. Public sector investment plan, PSRP, as we call it, is about 98 million, which constitute approximately 11.5. Public debt service is also inclusive, 16%. Contingency expenditure and so forth. The essence of legislative budgeting is to review government's plan, to track government's revenue and expenditures, and to ensure the government has enough money to cover its activities and reach government's set priorities and goals. Therefore, during this legislative budget process for 2025, the Ways, Means, Finance and Development Planning Committee and the Public Account Committee are beginning to work with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the LRA, Library Authority, and the SOEs, and including all administrative agencies to do the following. One, to help inform decisions about the budget. Two, to allocate fundings for government's goal. In this budget, let me refer to government's goal as the arrest agenda, some of it in PSRP. To prepare for emergency, in case anything happens, what will the nation do? To identify wasteful spending and to promote accountability and transparency. The Ways, Means and Finance Committee and the Public Account Committee will work together to ensure that requisite statutes are reviewed, requisite statutes are amended, or new statutes are introduced to enhance revenue collection. With the aforesaid measures put in place, we can work together assiduously to achieve $1 billion budget for Liberia in the coming years. As the budget process is a cycle, let me see. The Ways, Means and Finance Committee and the PAC committees are prepared to engage with all stakeholders to implement the budget process. In so doing, the LBO will be made proactive. The office has been here, is our technical support, will make them proactive. The Ways, Means, Finance Committee and the PAC Committee will become proactive also in tracking quarterly budget performances of all government spending agencies. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, fellow police, ladies and gentlemen, I am certain you have noticed an increase in the envelope, the national envelope, from 738 million to 851 million from 2024 to 2025. A difference of over 100 million. To continue to enlarge the national envelope, the legislature will strive to create statutes that will, one, redistribute the tax burden. Two, rectify inconsistencies of income from services. Three, create lower tax rates for resident corporations compared to non-resident corporations. And shorten the non-residency period from 180 to 90 days. We also like to inform the public of a renewed and robust oversight into the execution of the 2025 budget when approved by this August body. And this will include further fiscal measures to be put in place, like, for example, the viewing and garnishing rights of the LRA and hearings on quarterly budget performance report. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker of the Police, on behalf of all of my police here present, I'd like to say welcome again. Thank you for coming. Let us work together on this budget that will address critical matters of development and provide basic social services for our people. I'd like to say thank you. Yeah, we'd like to recognize the presence of the Ministry of Finance to an LRA to make opening remarks.
Folks, we live in the room where the budget hearing being orchestrated and presided over by the majority black and its chairman on Ways, Means and Finance, Representative Pete Mark Jory is on his way. Representation by the Ministry of Finance to be.
Submitted to the 55th National Legislature proposed national budget for the period beginning January 2025 to December 31st, 2025. This submission was in pursuance of Section 17.1 of the amended and restated Public Financial Management Act of 2009. We therefore agree to represent the Minister of Finance and Development Planning to once again engage you during this time on the legislative process on the FY 2025 national budget. Distinguished members of the committee, the priorities for 2025 will focus on all spending entities, plans, programs, and activities which are tailored around the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Spending entities proposals were aligned to the AAIT. Henceforth, the draft budget will reflect key government priorities in the following areas. The government's fulfillment to pay domestic and external debt will be reflected in the 2025 as a key priority to maintain global financial credibility to its creditors, addressing the compensation and its related issues of the national budget with national stakeholders to the budget process. Capital investment in agriculture, infrastructure, basic social services including water and sanitation, healthcare delivery, education, and provision of clean energy environment. Proper allocation of domestic resources that will promote economic and sustainable growth for the purpose of human resource and capacity development. Maintaining counterpart projects and ongoing projects while bringing on board key projects that align to the arrest agenda for inclusive development. I think the chair already spoke on the revenue control, but I don't want to belabor the issue to move on to the key items. So on the recurrent component, key things that are emphasized are employees' compensation, which is now projected at 315.17 million, or 42.3% of the total budget. This amount will fund the inclusion of health workers, teachers, and teachers to government payroll, increasing salaries of select social and security sector civil servants to the minimum wage and above, in keeping with the System Work Act of 2015. Spending for goods and services for the running of government is forecasted at 130.11 million, or 17% of the current expenditures, while spending is 3.2 Total grant is projected at 130 billion, representing 17% of the total recurrent expenditure. Total debt service is projected at 137 billion, representing 18% of the current of the recurrent expenditure. Of the total debt service, 61.7 billion is forecasted for service domestic liabilities, or 10 of 75.18 is estimated to service foreign liabilities. So in terms of the public sector investment programs, the aggregate forecast has increased by 56% from 67.79 billion to 107.07 billion, representing a 12% increase. The growth ratio to the PSRT overall budget is also an indication of the adequate resource allocation to fund the implementation of critical interventions under the less agenda for inclusive development. The major share of allocation is in infrastructure and basic services sector, including roadworks, which constitute 93.3% of the amount. The amount of 8 million is estimated for intervention in agriculture sector, depicting an increase of 7 million when compared to 2024 budget. Counterpart funding for servicing commitments in various sectors is also projected at 23.9 million. So in terms of the sectors, let me just summarize what we have. Public administration sector has the amount of 336 million, 9% of the top budget. Municipal government 33.56, transparency 27.07, and health sector is 85.83 million. In terms of external resources, the estimate for official development assistance is 381 million, of which 242 comes in the form of grants, and 139 million is in concessional loans. As you all will note, we are in the process of rolling out the fiscal decentralization policy, and for that we have to facilitate the implementation of this policy in pilot counties. Aggregate allocation for fiscal decentralization stands at 9.22 billion, with 2.2 billion projected for county development fund, 3 for social development fund, and 0.38 for county services centers, while 0.75 billion for community sharing. The CDF, SDF, CSC, and county treasury frameworks are essential to the rest agenda and the county development agenda, for which 1.5 billion has been allocated in PSRT. New policies for 2025. As part of the reforms to our revenue and tax administration systems, we are considering a number of new regulations to provide clarity in the way different levels of income are taxed.
Folks, we have to interrupt the budget minister's presentation for a minute to connect with Nelson Colette, who's out there on the grounds of the Capitol. We need to make sure all are safe.
Yeah,
Nelson.
yeah.
Nelson, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, hello, Diamond, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's the latest? We've got reports that Mr. Cholople of the Spoon Network has been attacked by some men believed to be supporters of Representative Dixon Sibo. Are you around that area, sir?
Actually, I am not around because Sylvester is at the other end, and I'm out at the main entrance. I just thought to make my way at the speaker's wing, Councillor Kofa's own side of the legislature here. So I'm really not aware. But what I can say and what I know of, and some of the reports we've gotten here have been about attacks on officers as well. And Diamond, you know that if the officers, the people who are supposed to restore calm, ensure that law and order is, withheld, is held, is respected by every party, those people can be attacked. Then, obviously that no one is, exempt. No one is excluded, especially we as journalists who are here to just do a piece of job.
So we beg you to kindly connect, monitor our chat room as well. Connect with Cholo Play since you're in the same vicinity, and make sure that everybody is okay and all right. And we'll reconnect with you, Nelson.
Okay, definitely, definitely.
The safety of our crew is very paramount to us. In as much as we strive to bring you all of what's unfolding, we have to make sure that our crew members are equally protected and safe in providing to you the information you so crave for. So rejoin the budget hearing. Currently, you have the Deputy Minister for Budget at the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Tana Bromston, presenting after a welcome and opening statement was made by the majority's chair on Ways, Means and Finance, E. Mark Shure. I'm here, Diamond Slanger, Yekesi Zugbe is also present, as well as Dennis Nipson. Let's rejoin the presentation by the Finance Minister for Budget, Deputy for Budget.
Students, compensation and consultancies will be jointly managed by the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning and the Civil Service Agency. The intent is to ensure proper management and the fiscal impact of compensation and consultancy services. In conclusion, distinguished members of this august body, it is my hope that this process can be conducted in a way that ensures timely passage of the budget to make way for the execution of critical development strategies.
The Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA, is the outlook.
To be here and reflect on my former boss at Frida Tama, who told me to always learn to work with tension. All the time you were calling me, I'm just on my head. Honorable Chairman and members of the Joint Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, esteemed colleagues, members of the full estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm honored to appear before this august body to discuss the FY 2025 national budget. This occasion is a significant marker on our national calendar, a time when priorities are set, visions are articulated, and pathways are charted to achieving our collective aspiration. Today, I wish to convey the progress we have made at the LRA in the current fiscal year, while outlining ambitious and transformative goals we set for ourselves as we prepare for the FY 2025. Our journey has been without challenges, yet, in light of adversity, the resilience of our system, policy, and spirit of collaboration has shown, reinforcing our commitment to effectively mobilize domestic revenue and ensure transparency in tax administration. As we reflect on our journey in the year 2024, it is encouraging to note that the revenue mobilization has held strong despite encountering external shocks, logistical challenges, and the reluctance of some state-owned enterprise to fully honor their commitment. For the current fiscal year, we were charged with collecting 738.86 million. I'm pleased to report that as of November 30th, 2024, we have totally collected 619.9 million. 619.9 million, representing 84% of our total revenue targets and about 90% of our domestic revenue targets. The figure just reported is about 90% of domestic revenue. External revenue is not in there. This performance not only underscore our commitment to revenue collection, but also reflecting the hard work of our dedicated staff and the partnership we forge with various stakeholders. Honorable Legislature, a member of the press, I'm pleased and elated to report that the amount collected at the stage in the current year is the highest the LRA collected in a single year since its establishment. We are indeed committed to achieving the $1 billion mark that has eluded us for many years. Looking forward to FY 2025, we face a significant leap in expectation. We have been tasked with raising a total of $851.8 million. With the core revenue expectation to amount to $833 million and contingent revenue $18.8 million. This marks a substantial 15.3% increase for the recast budget of this year. Such an elevation in our objective require united efforts in innovation strategy and a forward-thinking approach. Due to time and many other speakers have mentioned several things that we have here, I will give the full detail to the press. But I just wanted to say that I can assure this body that the LRA, plus and minus, may have a balanced budget. We may not fall, but our only challenge has been the SOEs. SOE is our major challenge. So it means that what we didn't budget for, we have to look to other sources to cover up for some of the SOEs. Then we also need the legislature to help us raise some of this money by the relevant committee that have oversight to call some of the entities to make sure that the money is possible to be made. Like in the case of NAFA, we're not able to collect anything from them. So we have to look to other places. This is why I want to even encourage this other body that even given our next projection, that is proposed, that we hold it at that. Because at many times we say we saw new revenue soon, but remember that whatever source you give out, it is a projection. There is a possibility that those land may not perform. So we're going to look to other places to close up. And the issue of whether shortfall have been a trauma, we won't recast for supplemental, for increment, then going downward. So I want to say thank you very much, and I close at this point.
Introductory statement there by the representative of the Liberia Revenue Authority. This is the Spoon Network bringing you live broadcast from up Capitol Hill. The budget hearings currently ongoing as we do have the majority black speaker, Richard Kunkun, flanked by the majority blacks chairman on Ways, Means and Finance, Representative Fee.
For the recent to raise the chair, we acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Speaker, colleagues here for the Ways and Means and various committees are present, to the stakeholder, and to the press. First of all, thank the President, Excellency, President Joseph Lawmaker, for submitting the National Draft Budget 2025. I want to assure the President and the Liberian people and development partners that honor our stewardship to seek to keep the legislature calm, peaceful, and effective in doing the Liberian people's business. To demonstrate this commitment, we accelerate the budget debate, but at the same time, we give it all scrutiny, proper scrutiny, and due diligence. The national envelope submitted by the President, His Excellency Joseph Lawmaker, is an estimate of 851.8 million. We are told that this draft instrument exceeded the 2024 final and recount budget by 15.3%, which was then 738.9 million. The draft budget accordingly captured appropriation aimed at delivering on key priorities of the arrest agenda for inclusive development, as well as addressing debt services, and other obligations of the government. The draft budget addresses key priorities of this government: the agribusiness, road and infrastructure, rule of law, governance, education, and human capital development, as well as sanitation, tourism, to name a few. Today, as we continue to exercise our role as a new Speaker of the House of Representatives, I want to call on you, honorable colleagues, to discuss the budget with open mind, with consideration that the Republic should always count us number one as it relates to budget execution and preparation. We need to critically look at our revenue stream to see whether we can source additional funds to support development priorities. But my own caveat as it relates to sourcing additional funds, it must be realistically projected, or else we turn down the same report or same budget. I want to clearly emphasize that going forward, on our gavel, we assure the House of Representatives will do business differently. We emphasize openness, transparency, and accountability. During this period of the budget debate, the Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance is advised to ensure that oversight committees are available so that they are adequately guided about the priorities and challenges faced by the government ministry that they have oversight for. The Ways Committee will be the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee will also be able to exercise or oversight adequately if these committees are given the upper hand to be present in all of the debates as an oversight committee. I also want to urge the Ways and Means Chairman and its member, a member on the Ways and Means will represent caucuses. Before the passage of the budget, it is advised through your gavel on the Ways and Means Chairman, each caucus member should go back to the current caucuses and brief them adequately as to how the budget process went on so that they can be adequately informed on issues relating to the county. The government will not perform if we do not perform. It simply means that if the budget fails, the government fails. We further insist that caucus, like I said earlier, please notify the member before the passage of the budget. Today, the issue of county development fund, county social development fund, are key aspects of our AAID, and our caucuses must not be left unheard. Honorable members and distinguished citizens, in the new we set forth foundation for sound financial decision making. one that advances financial priorities, a guide against fraud, waste, and abuse. This will be the best and able manner that we as a nation can further process our financial institution. As we embark on this process, therefore, it's my hope that we will have a healthy debate and we reinforce the draft before us and drive our development priorities to its reality. I want to thank you so much for affording us the opportunity to allow this hearing to commence. I want to commend the chairman on security who provided all security.
National security.
Also acknowledge the presence of the chairman of national defense. Also, I forgot in my intro to mention the Public Accounts Committee, which is also very critical in this budget hearing. Thank you. I now therefore declare this budget hearing open.
The majority speaker, Richard Nambwe Kun, has declared the budget hearing opened. Remember, previously the representative from the Ministry of Finance, that is the Minister for Budget, Tannen Bromson, presented. The LRA presented as well, stating that they've been able to collect for fiscal year 2024 over 80% of revenue domestically, and the budget for fiscal year 2025 has got a 15% plus increment from the 2024 budget. But let's go to Nelson Cole, who's currently outside the grounds of the Capitol. But before I do that, Denise and Yekes have been listening in, and all of the noise, all of the commotion we saw prior to this particular opening of the hearing commencing, they were undisturbed for the entire process thus far.
Yeah, I mean, the process is going on, even though under a heavy, security watch and tension capital, but man, in a very tight. I think that's the office of the deputy minister, right?
The deputy speaker.
The deputy speaker, Thomas Fala. And we just look forward to see how this is going to play out, because under the serious controversy, and just a few days after the Supreme Court has interpreted, the Constitution pertaining this impasse, and we're still seeing, a sitting like this, no resolution to the matter. You have the minority bloc on the other hand, trying to resist or trying to impede the process. We all look forward to how all this plays out, but I think the executive is playing a major role now. At first, when this thing started, the role of the executive wasn't that explicit, but now the role is clear. The role that the executive is playing is very, very clear. We see members of the executive appearing before the majority bloc, and let's see how this will play out. I think the Supreme Court has played its part, and the politics now is kind of playing. So we look to see how it ends.
Okay, Denise, comments before we join our OB team.
Thank you for rejoining us here, Diamond, and the rest of the team.
So we see that the executive branch of government is now doing business with the majority bloc, which shows that this is even deeper than as we, saw on the surface from the onset, that this was just, between the members of the legislature. It shows that the executive branch of government is now part and is now doing business with the majority. So maybe in the coming days, we'll see like the embattled speaker said, he contemplate his transition.
Transition, whatever that
Yes,
transition
that
means.
transition
Mm.
will be probably a resignation, knowing owing to the fact that you cannot have a quorum and you cannot, have the hearing of the budget, which is being presided over by the majority speaker and the majority lawmakers, Damo and Legacy.
Thank you, Dennis. Let's connect with Trokon Farmer. Trokon, you witnessed the entire process there after the presentation by the Ministry of Finance and the Liberia Revenue Authority. Have they adjourned, or what's the next item on the list of today for today's itinerary?
Thank you, Damo, for rejoining me from the grounds of the Capitol building, particularly from the office of Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala in the conference room of the Deputy Speaker. It's where we were. I'm just a few meters away from the office of the Deputy Speaker. Yes, officially declared the 2025 fiscal budget hearing open, according to the Deputy Speaker and the team hearing on today, holding the hearing for today, that the rest of the hearings will be done in camera. That means we will not be around. They will furnish us with report from today, but the hearing will commence beginning with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The Deputy Minister for Budget for the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Madam Tenen Bronski. She's here and she made the remark on behalf of the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Minister Augustine Behe Gafuan. So there you have it. And after this hearing with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Liberia Revenue Authority is well seated to also, to for the team to hold hearing with the Liberia Revenue Authority.
So, Trokon, what we understood from this entire process, this was just the opening ceremony to declare the budget hearing process started, right? After this, the Ministry of Finance and the Liberia Revenue Authority, they are going to present before the Waste, Means, and Finance Committee and those selected representatives to form part of this budget hearing. Is that what is going to happen? And that is going to be off camera as well?
Exactly, Damo, you're right. This initial, hearing, meeting, or conference was just intended for the speaker, Richard Kuhn, to declare the budget hearing for fiscal year 2025 open to the public land ministries and SOEs and all of that here at the Capitol building with the Committee on Waste, Means, and Finance.
Denise, you can see? All right. So, Chokon will rejoin you. I see you at distance from where security officers are stationed. What's the atmosphere like around this place? It was previously chaotic with attempted forced entries by
Seriously,
representatives as well.
seriously,
It's calm now.
yeah, seriously, there were chaos here. Lawmakers from the side of embattled Speaker G. Funanti Kofa came here and they wanted to have access to the conference room where the hearing is ongoing, but the entire saga here was, brought to and a rest. So when the Liberian National Police, the joint security arrived here, when they intervened into the matter, there were pepper spray being used. The riot police officers were able to force some of those people who came here to invade this place here. unknown men were also among the lawmakers. And so lawmakers from the side of the embattled speaker, six representative, Reverend Samuel Innes. Innes was he was among the lawmakers who came here. Controversial District 10 Representative Yeke Jakba Kuluba. He was one of the lead, ranking members of the lawmakers who arrived here to ensure that the hearing today is not going to go on. And so many other lawmakers who were here, but with the intervention of the joint security, they were able to disperse those lawmakers and the other people who joined the lawmakers to have come here this morning at the entrance of the deputy speaker's office. So we are
Okay.
still here,
Thank you for
and
going
the and
to
what I can say here, the joint security, some of those people, the riot police officers, they are now trying to leave the scene because the 2025 budget hearing has been declared open, and some of those people who were here to prevent the hearing from being held today, they left the scene. But howbeit, the police, the joint security is still around here making sure to provide security for the LRA, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, including the Waste, Means and Finance Committee that are currently holding the hearing in Canada, Damo.
Okay. Denise, thank you, Chukon. Denise has got a question for you.
You've been covering around there. You've been around the country providing coverage. What do you foresee for now from the minority bloc end, or what are you hearing from their end?
Absolutely, Denise and the rest of the team. The sole purpose of the gathering this morning by the embattled speaker of lawmakers was to ensure that the hearing, the official commencement of the hearing is not going to be held. We saw lawmakers from the side, like a representative Marvin Cole and the rest of the people that were saying that they're going to lock all of the gates, and they did. They were going to ensure that the representatives from the Bureau of Land Ministries and agency they were not going to have access to this Capitol building today. So they were preventing those people to not appear before the Waste, Means and Finance Committee from the side of the majority bloc. So unfortunately for them, the guys were here. If you ever follow the representative from the side of LRA, he said he has been here around the Capitol building this morning. He was here and he received multiple, of course, from the Waste, Means and Finance. He couldn't come in because the entire place was actually tense for him. It was a difficult task for him.
Okay.
Police
Chukon, let me
officers
go to a
had to
bit
go
for a
for
minute. Sorry for interrupting, but I need to connect with Professor Chukon quickly. We do see movements, whether the majority black members are leaving the grounds of the Capitol now. Let's unmute Cholople. Cholople, what is unfolding now at your end?
Well, thank you, Damon. Just before where the battle speaker J. Kofa vehicles normally park. As you can see, the place is empty. A few minutes ago, Dexy Sibo, Representative Dexy Sibo, spoke to us. We were talking about the word about of the embattled speaker J. Kofa. Where is he? And he said the matter of fact, the minority. Okay, so let's see. We just witnessed the arrival of see, like it seems like this is the speaker. So just wait a minute. Let's see who's here. Right. So let's see. Let's see who's
Short as a right, back of the Kofa, right here.
Murphy, who is that?
Right? So, we utilize everything that we need. So while much of the year is easier, the rest of the year is easier.
Nelson, we didn't. But we want to know who just arrived there on the grounds of the Capitol. So we are going to reconnect with Nelson. Nelson, who just arrived?
Okay, so Dama, can you hear me?
Loud and clear now. So who arrived? What's the question?
Yeah, so actually, because Kofa just arrived here on the grounds of the legislature. Just while you were in the conversation with Sylvester Philippines, as you can see here, his vehicles are still finding means to park. There you have it. SOR1 is reversing here. And while the speaker is making his way up, he's being escorted by a huge number of his supporters. They are climbing the stairs. They gave him a rousing welcome here on the grounds of the legislature. But interestingly, Dino, why this is happening, the folks on the other end are busy conducting this case here on the grounds of the legislature. And of course, all of the speakers' vehicles now are taking the proper position and trying to park here on the ground. But Dino, another interesting thing here is that Liberians have trooped in, initially the ground, just time, a lot of people were even making their way out, but Liberians had trooped in here, especially since the vehicle, the official vehicle of Councilor Kofa arrived. Liberians have trooped in, trying to witness what the scene will be like. As you see, there is still a police vehicle assigned with Councilor Kofa, the speaker, in his official convoy. He still enjoys the security details and all of that. Earlier, we saw an interview, or we conducted an interview with Representative James Collier, who said that effective this week, they're going to be stripping the speaker of all those immunities, talking about security details and all of those things he enjoys as speaker of the 65th legislature. And but as we speak, he still enjoys a huge presence of security, a police vehicle still and all of that. So he has made his way to his office, and this all by itself has served some sort of attention here again for the activities on the grounds of the legislature.
Okay. With Sylvester Cholople now. Sylvester Cholople, what's happening at your end, sir?
So the invited speaker, Jay Frantikova, just entered his office. The matter of fact, you saw his vehicle when they arrived there. So he's upstairs now. He's just entered his vehicle. We try asking. The only thing we heard from him is that I'm here now for serious business. I'm here at the office and we are back for serious business. So that's the only thing we could hear from him. So the speaker, the invited speakers, has just entered his office, and perhaps he's going to do consultation and come back and start business as he said. So we are just posted outside his office here at the grounds of the Capitol building. So yes, I can confirm that now the Honorable J. Frantikova is in the building and he is at his office that month.
What was his mood like, Sylvester Cholople? We know Speaker Kofa to wear a smile, and not shy from journalists as well. Looking at his mood, especially what has just occurred,
yes,
the Speaker of the Majority Black has declared budget hearing open. They entertained the MFTP and the LRA. How does Speaker Kofa look like?
So he actually appears that he appears that no worry. He appears that he's not worried, and I mean, he was not in rush. He came at his office, walking slowly, where some of his supporters, staff members here, continue to cheering that, oh, the speaker is on the ground, the speaker is here,
Right
and
there.
we are about to do we
We
are
will
about to do
reconnect.
serious business. So his posture, I mean, he doesn't look worried, and
So, folks, we have to mute Cholo Play for a minute and take Chokon Flama. We see Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala and the rest of the members of the majority black are being escorted either out of the building or to the joint chambers or wherever they headed to. We want to find out. Chokon, your video is frozen, probably due to network issues. But if you can speak to us, where are you guys headed to? So, folks, Chokon is going to rejoin us. But we do see the Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala is exiting his office. The flight of stairs there. Speaker Kofa is in his office, just arrived, according to Sylvester Choloplay, says he's now ready to conduct serious business, whether alluding to what occurred earlier on serious. Denise Yekezi.
Yes, of course. So, like Cholope said, the speaker said that he's come to begin serious business. So, yeah, that's a direct reference to what the other bloc is doing. The majority bloc, that what they are doing is not serious business, because from the Supreme Court's interpretation of the law.
I'm a can you guys hear me?
Yes, Nelson, we can hear you.
Okay, so we are getting word now. I see here, you security presence here. Everyone is on the alert. Getting word that the folks here are about to move in the main chambers, and Diamond, this is going to get interesting because all here are up from the majority black. You see, Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala, yeah, coming out. Speaker Richard Nagatu as well, and we're getting word that the folks are making their way at the main chambers, all along the way in the joint chambers of the legislature, and this is going to be a very interesting moment, Diamond. And of course, the folks are moving.
On the main chamber, which is going to be a huge shift in what they've been doing, having their session away from the main chamber in the joint chamber. Resistance, please. But let's bring you not just video, but audio as well. Nelson is but let's get you audio from Nelson Colette.
Yes, so Diamond, why this is happening? We have to get reason here. So the first, like as you are aware, the country, as you are aware, the country we place vehicle for our some of our departmental heads in that budget. They were able to procure 5 vehicles. As we see 5 SUV, as we see out of the 5 SUV, 4 are here and 1 is expected, and 2.
So, folks, we apologize. It's internet connectivity issue. We're doing our best to bring you all of the angles of what's unfolding there on the grounds of the capital, not just video, but audio quality as well.
And I want to speak to you we are then taking the way of this material, and let me also say, to the security administrator, then active here.
So as we speak currently here, I was along with the board
Aji, what's going on? We're not really getting your audio that clear. So, folks, we will do our best to bring you all of what's unfolding. Aji.
Yes, sir.
So we do see the majority blacks speaker, Richard Kuhn, is addressing the press. We're trying to get you their audio.
This issue of disrupting our activities, we handle them seriously from plenary decision. There's a caveat of the police, then they come and join us, and let them bring people to work. This place is where the police elect out to do their work. We are not yet to be split in one. So we urge you to please join us to do their bring work. We want to hold them and stop what they continue to do because havoc and the premises of the capital. Therefore, like I said earlier, we're about to dignify our elected staff. Firstly, the chief clerk, which is absent today, but we're going one of these people for legal. So, Mr. Governor, we see them on behalf of the boss.
So thank you for rejoining us on the grounds of the Capitol building in Monrovia. Damo and the team in the studio. Damo, are you there?
We are here, Chokon. We can hear you. We just want better audio quality from your end as well.
Are we okay now? Let me try to adjust my microphone.
No, I want to know which one is this. Which one that is on? Yeah?
Are we okay now?
Yeah, we can hear Representative clear enough. We just want to get what majority blacks said earlier.
So we also want to bring people here to the Saudi arm. There is not yet president. We turn the key over to the Saudi. We subsequently turn the key over to his house. The Saudi arm also will be dignified by the humble body. There's a new stewardship on the mission to dignity to all of our staff always promoting our work and services. This is the key for the Saudi arm. And if you're listening to the media sometimes, our press director always sometimes getting on a motorbike to do our job. We've been mixing it up for a very long time. So this time around, we decided to bring dignity to him. Let him represent the House of Representatives as official press director. So here, it's a pleasure to turn on this key to you and to do our work diligently. We encourage our fellow staff, especially the secretariat and directors, to be more free to come in. We definitely dignify before the end of 2025. We make sure that you all be dignified, we can be running car, and you are walking, taking lessons, serious document. We want to ensure you, and to all of the staff in this place, we urge you not to get involved when your bosses are in conflict. Be on the neutral line. Because when some of you are captured, you look like you're ending up with us. We don't want to do that. We want to assure you that we keep this place peaceful. And please, avoid sending wrong messages to the media to relate to what we do. Thank you so much.
And again, Again, the speaker had just asked me to the speaker to inform the general staff and one of people. In that people are waiting for the general staff that will have one boss. But this one boss is not sufficient. On this boss as soon as possible because the leadership is doing everything to procure additional buses for us. The money is small to be transported yourself in it. So the other bus that is expected, because this one in addition that will be coming after the wrap of the other bus, the leadership will make a decision as to the first to be operating while waiting for the additional one. So I guess the information he asked me to share along with you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah. So, maintenance director is here. You please from the maintenance director. The speaker, the deputy speaker, and the leadership will be doing an assessment of the chamber. The Woodland Aratabad chamber is the main chamber of this House of Representatives that is under renovation. So, the speaker, the deputy speaker, and other officials of the leadership tour in that chamber and other places around the building to do an assessment to know how the building look like. Thank you so much. Please call the director to ensure that the chamber is open and it is accessible by the speaker of Richard Lawmaker, the honorable deputy, honorable Thomas E. Fala. We have in the assessment team the chair on executive, we have honorable Shane Brown, and the rest of the officials that you also have the chair on foreign affairs. So please call them the necessary courtesy. Thank you so much.
Kofa, are you there?
Hello. The sergeant, the clerk, and the press director are saying what has happened is unprecedented. They are not seen it yet. So, Mr. Speaker, they want to tell you people thank you. Please let my people talk to you, my chief.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished members of the House, on behalf of the elected staff, including our mouthpiece, I want to say thank you. Words are inadequate to express. We highly appreciate what you have done, and this is what telling us, because they say when the Christmas is going to be good, you can tell from the eats. This symbolizes the desire to be able to do better for our country. Again, we want to say thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very brief. So, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, we are grateful. Thank you for elevating. I think this is going to more or less get us to do more. It's motivating so that we can get the work done. Again, as we hear colleagues, members of the Fourth Estate, thank you for always getting our messages up to the public. We remain in terms of making sure that the great things happen for the country. Thank you again, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker. Honorable Chairman, always Minister of Finance. Now, Mr. Order.
So thank you for now proceed.
All right. So if you just joining us, we've been live on the grounds of the Capitol Hill, where the Capitol Hill, the Capitol building has been the theater of drama here in Liberia since the 17th of October, when a resolution surfaced. We were informed 49 lawmakers assigned to oust the Speaker Jonathan Fonanti Kofa while he was in the Holy Land of the Vatican in Italy there with President Joseph Yuman Boakai, counting how many days since this impasse is still continuing there on the grounds of the capital. Well, the majority black has elected its own speaker in the presence of District Number 11 Montserrat County Representative Richard Kun. He presided over the opening of the budget hearing today, which featured the Deputy Minister for Budget from the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Tanem Bromson, and a representative from the Liberia Revenue Authority. The majority blacks Speaker Kun then said the budget hearing process has begun. So what we just witnessed was the turning over ceremony of keys to brand new Toyota urban cruiser vehicles to directors and heads of departments there at the House of Representatives. My question for which I want to ask our guys on the ground, if those are not the same vehicles that were bought by embattled Speaker Jonathan Fonanti Kofa? And if so, how come the majority bloc has got the keys and are turning those vehicles over as well? So either Trokon, Nelson, or Haji, can you kindly answer that particular question, whether those are the same vehicles that were purchased by embattled Speaker Jonathan Fonanti Kofa? Haji, are you there?
Yeah, James, sorry, Tom, I'm here.
You witnessed the turning over of the vehicles. Where are those the same vehicles that were purchased by Speaker Kofa?
So according to the information, the vehicles just given to the staffers were purchased through the budget of the House of Representatives, and later they were presented to the speaker, Fonati Kofa. Then until the majority block after.
All right, Haji, go ahead,
the
sir.
vehicles to be turned over to them.
So those are the same
So,
vehicles.
Damo, if you are there,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
these
joint
are the
chambers
same vehicles
of the legislature, where the speaker.
Trokon, we lost you there. Go ahead.
An assessment of
Sorry.
the joint chambers.
So, Damo, can you?
And this assessment is intended to immediately order the renovation of this place in preparation of the State of the Nation address and holding section here.
Where His Excellency President Joseph Human Baka is expected to address the nation. You can see the ceiling, how damaging they are. You can also see the floor. Some time back, about a month ago, we were told by the security here that one of our colleagues in person of Jerry Yopo came here on a Sunday evening under the belief that they were about to renovate this chamber. They unscrew all of the chairs. At the media, please, you can give way for the speaker and the leadership to see. Please give way. Please give way. So you see all your chairs there. All the chairs were unscrewed. They broke everything. You see by all now everything. You can see the mark all here. So it's just an indication, Honorable Speaker, as we prepare for the State of the Nation address, there is a need for serious renovation to be done here. Because remember, this is a place that the president will be hosted. And you can also check this way. You see the air condition, everything is destroyed. You can see even where the Senate sits, everything has been destroyed here. And it was destroyed, like I said, under the instruction of Jerry Yopo, District Number 12, Mosorado County. So besides this, I will also want to take you to the other chamber where the House of Representatives meet before the construction of the Chinese conference room. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
James Collet is the chairman of Rules Giving and Administration here at the chamber here. Was one of us giving a tour of the building for renovation and the conduct of the session by trying to find our way up to the original chambers before the new chambers was constructed. So we're making our way up to the chambers. This tour of the building is intended to immediately call for renovation of the building, like Representative James Colette did. His statement on rules, orders, and administration. So here we are now.
Touring with the speaker alongside the
Okay, so while the tour is ongoing of the building, we will be joining our team that's outside the grounds of the Capitol as well to bring us audio of what's happening outside. So we'll be giving you a view of not just within the Capitol building, but also outside. Nelson Coulet, if you dare bring us up to speed from the current situation out there.
Yeah, Damo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so we stay here outside the grounds of the legislature. Diamond, prior to the arrival of the impasse speaker, Councilor Kofa, the place was relatively kind. There wasn't that much in terms of like the number of people here. You know, in fact, people were gradually leaving the grounds of the legislature. But I could see just on the far end there, Diamond. Folks have come in here again, and Liberians are even more concerned about what's happening here than ever. We saw the turnover for the second time of the vehicles at the far end here. One was given to me
for the second time of these vehicles.
Yeah, this is for the second time, Daniel, because you know that at some point, sometime last month, the battle speaker, Councilor Kofa, the official turning over of these vehicles to the staffers of the legislature, you know, to enhance the kind of work they do, to dignify them and all of that. And interestingly, at the time, we saw the director of press, Robert Hayes, here at the House of Representatives. He's one person who was sitting right next to Councilor Kofa when these vehicles were being turned over. And again, today we've seen Speaker Richardson on the other hand, and along with Deputy Speaker Thomas Farah turning over these vehicles. And Robert Hayes is also there, the director of press, and the deputy chief clerk, who all receive each of these vehicles, and the chief clerk who is on a statement, equally received one of the vehicles here. And interestingly, Diamond, doing the turnover, Speaker Richard Booth from the majority bloc then sent out a target to all of his colleagues, first of all, that they should see reason to come back, they should see reason for all of them to work together and not pull the country hostage. And he saw that if this is the best time for Liberians or the lawmakers, regardless of whichever political party they come from, to come together to bring this issue to rest. And he also sent a caveat to stop us here at the legislature to get away from sending out the wrong message. We want them not to get involved with what's happening amongst the lawmakers, that they are adults, they are elders, they are, lawmakers of the country, they can handle their issue at that level, and that the staffers should get maybe taking a part in this particular thing, because if they get so, according to him, it will send a message that they're either against them or they're enemy of the majority black, and that's the kind of atmosphere that he, Speaker Richardson, doesn't want at the moment, on the grounds of the legislature here. And so, so we did see the turning over of the vehicles, and Diamond, even as we speak now, looking on the far end there, you see the security presence is increasing here by the minute. From this end, you look on the other end there, you also see a very new security presence, and also at the entrance The security presence at the entrance of the legislature here has increased as well. And this is getting very interesting every single moment along the line.
Okay, Nelson, thank you for updating us. Let's really posted. We want to go back in the Capitol building. So let's really connect within the Capitol building as well. Haji Masale, what's going on at your end, sir? Haji.
Yeah, Damo.
Haji, are you there?
Damo, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, what's going on at your end?
So a tour was made, and the speaker, the deputy speaker, other members of the House of Representatives were
Which
taking
speaker now?
on a
Because you know the country get two speakers now. So
okay,
you have to be clear in your distinction.
so Nangbekun and the deputies speaker were all taken on a guided tour of some facilities after handing over cars to the chief clerk, the deputy chief clerk, the sergeant at arms, and the press director. 4 vehicles, bus another bus supposed to be coming for the general staffers. Then we're taken to the main chamber. That's the original chamber where session usually held before the Chinese chamber was built. So we could not enter that chamber because it's still locked. They tried calling the maintenance director to come and give access to the chamber, but it's like he's still lagging behind. So but we also toured the joint chamber where the president in January is supposed to be visiting the legislature to give his annual address to the nation. That chamber is actually in room, so there's a need for a quick fix in that particular chamber for it to be used for January. But about now, the majority bloc uses that particular for their session. So tomorrow's session will be held from the angle of the majority bloc. So that particular place, they'll be using that place until January. I am told they will use that place until January. But if the renovation is going on, because the president is supposed to visit that particular chamber in January, then the majority bloc will have to use all alternatives to hold their session. But as of now, that's where it is. But the main chamber where the old building, that chamber is actually on renovation, and from the look of things, it has not even gone 10% from its renovation. Damo.
Yeah, Denise,
Yeah.
Yakazi?
Yeah. So, Haji, I'm concerned about those vehicles that were turned over by the majority bloc speaker. We understand that it's the leadership of the minority bloc speaker, that budgeted for those vehicles and even purchased them. So my concern is, how did the majority bloc speaker get hold of the keys of the vehicles and even the main chambers? It was being used also by the by Kofa. We understand, that was in his key. How did the majority bloc speaker get hold of all of those things?
Okay, so as I explained earlier, that the speaker of the minority, so we have to position it in that way, speaker of the majority and speaker of the minority, so as we give the audience a better position of what we are speaking to. So like I said earlier, those vehicles were budgeted for in their own budget of the House of Representatives.
That's how the House of Representatives were one house.
Well, it was one house at
at the time. Certainly at the time it was one house. So it was budgeted for, So, and the purchase is ever since about 4 or 5 months ago, and it was the consignment was on a way to Liberia until the whole saga occurred. So the company that are supposed to bring in these cars had a little delay until this whole removal process started, and they decided to deliver So they deliver about 4 vehicles and 1 bus. I'm understanding that there is remaining 1 bus or a few other cars because they already budgeted for. So they were given by Fanatic Kofa to the various directors that we just listed. So when the majority block, got the information that the cars already landed and Honorable Kofa had, in his possession the cars, they requested, they communicated to all the directors involved to turn the keys over to them. And so the directors, some of them, started to be hesitant, but at the end of the day, they had to narrow down and they handed over the keys to the rules order and administration of the majority block, James Collet. So James Collet turned the keys over to the speaker and the deputy speaker. So the ceremony you just witnessed here was the ceremony for the speaker and the deputy speaker, the leadership of the majority block, to do what they call the right thing. Since they are in charge, they have to take possession of it first, and then they can give the cars to the people whom they budgeted them for to for purchasing.
Denise?
Yeah, so I think that answered my question because I saw Rebel Hands, drove the car when it was turned over to him by the battle speaker then. So that's why I was concerned. But Haji has already answered the question that they later took those keys from them, and now that's the resubmission.
Okay, so Haji, my question to that is, those directors who were previously or initially handed over those cars to by the embattled speaker Kofa, are there any changes in the recipients, or they're still the same 4 individuals, or there's been changes to those who were previously given those cars and those who have now been given those cars by the majority black and its leadership?
So absolutely, there is no change into the distribution process. If there could be a change, maybe somebody who probably was hesitant to turn over the keys, but in and much they turn over the keys and they are cooperating with the majority bloc along the way as they the whole sack they are with the majority bloc. So the majority bloc sees now fit to hand over back the keys to the people the cars were were purchased for.
Okay, Denise.
So, Haji, I listened to Representative Kun, the majority bloc speaker, telling the staffer that they should stay away from, what is happening at the Capitol when he turned over the keys. Is it that he received news that some of the staffer or the staffer are siding with the embattled speaker, for which he had to make such statement?
From the local things, when other lawmakers are talking about the ground being chaotic and moving forward, it will be more chaotic. I think that's what he's trying to say, that staffers should not be involved, because when they are involved, they will be more victim than even the lawmakers. Because even whether on the embattled speaker side or the majority side, they will be protected some way or the other. Imagine today I'm seeing some staffers with with bruises, and so some of them with wounds, serious wounds on them, meaning that they came in serious entanglement, and that is bad for them. I'm not
He
saying
just
any
said
lawmaker.
me differently. but go ahead, Haji. The whole
Yeah, so
entanglement word, but go ahead.
yeah, so they will come in conflict. They will come into other entanglement, so that it will be more pathetic. So just a caveat to them to just stay clear. Let it be lawmakers to lawmakers. I think you will see that because imagine after hurting some staffers, you are seeing lawmakers hawking each other like Opi Kopa, who went to the door of the deputy speaker trying to force a way in and he was stopped. And here Koka later they were hawking. Message my man, come over. So the thing is just simple. If it is left with lawmakers, but when staffers are involved,
Damo, are you
it will
there?
be more chaotic.
Okay. Thank you, Haji. We did have more questions for you, but we'll rejoin you in a minute. Let's take on Trokon Flammer. Trokon, I see you in front of a fleet of vehicles. What's going on? Trokon? Trocon Flammer, we have you live, sir. Okay, so Trocon seems to have issues with his internet. We'll reconnect with Trocon. But Denise, Yekezi, and the rest of the folks forming part of our production and our audience and viewers as well, looking at this whole car issue. Now, everything at the House of Representatives at Dow. You know, you have two speakers.
Yeah.
You have two turning over ceremonies of vehicles. And it's becoming more, if you look at the vehicle situation, does it sound or look like inducement or a way of, coercing and using these vehicles as a dangling bait as well, to get either loyalty or submission from these directors and subsequently the staffers of the House of Representatives? Were there conversations held? Now, look, Kofa is on his way out. If you want to enjoy these vehicles, if you want to enjoy them, you have to turn them over to us, and we will then turn them over to you. But if you don't do so, and after all of this saga, and we will succeed, we'll still, remove this. We'll still take these vehicles from you and appoint new heads at these various departments. If you look at it, are the staffers being drawn in this? And these vehicles, do they represent inducement? Yekezi and Dennis.
Yeah, so like you rightly said, Diamond, I see coercion, in the entire situation, like some group of people being coerced in terms of intimidation on their job, because I don't see the need for which these vehicles were being resubmitted, to or given to the directors, because previously the embattled speaker has already turned over the vehicle. What is the essence of, taking the vehicle, taking the keys, and then after some time, calling them to resubmit the keys to them? So just on last evening, we even saw, I don't know how authentic it is, but there was some circular that the director of press was being suspended by, I think, the embattled speaker. Like you rightly said, perhaps, now that there's this impasse and the both sides should be wanting who to, the director should work with. So apparently, like you said, the Vigo was taken from them as a means of coercion or intimidation, that if you don't side with us, we will not give you your Vigo. So the director perhaps might have been doing something, on the order to, contrary to his work, to please the other side, for which perhaps the communication was given from the embattled speaker end. And also from this end now, the majority black is now endorsing the director of press that, yes, work in the interest of the House of Representatives, and now we are resubmitting, or we are giving your Vigo, to you. So I see something like some form of intimidation to the workers. I think what is happening there, the lawmakers should do their work, and whatsoever conflict, that is between them, that should be between them, and not, the directors and all staffers that are at the legislature to get involved.
Yeah, because you see them, you see the turn over the keys, we resubmit, we turn over the vehicles to you again. Do you see that as a way of coercing loyalty from these directors, or do you see it as a way of, letting them know that either you play ball with us and you enjoy these amenities, or we take it away from you?
Well, I see it more like, the majority bloc speaker, trying to show that he's in control. And I mean, once you have two persons kind of battling over the single position, you will have both of them wanting to make the public know that they're actually in control. And I think that was the exhibition of being in control that was carried out by Speaker Kofa. In fact, the majority bloc Speaker Kunkun, but according to Haji, that those keys have been submitted ever since, so there was no need to have resubmitted them. But the resubmission is just meant to show that we are in control. The majority bloc is in control. I think that was just the essence of doing that. But the staffers at the legislature, they are caught in between the line here. Yes, and they need to maintain their job. They want to maintain their job. So in order to maintain their job, they now will be choosing which of the two blocks to side with. And now they are using their own discretion to do that. Yeah, they are using their own judgment to choose which side to be with, or which side is likely to remain and which side is likely to go out.
Okay.
So they're making their own selections in order to be able to maintain their jobs.
Okay. All right, Ekezi, we hold on right here. We bring
Thank you, Damo, and the
latest
rest
from
of
your
the
end,
team
sir.
for rejoining us from the grounds of the Capitol building where I'm standing right
Choco,
now.
you are really
you are
low.
low.
You are really,
Very
really low.
The vehicles of the Speaker Richard Kunkun from the side
Joko,
of
if
the
you're hearing us,
Capitol.
you are low.
The engine of this vehicle is still beating and waiting for the Speaker to come out, maybe to depart the grounds of the Capitol building.
Look at
As
the
you may be
speaker.
aware, we were in a conference room earlier on where the Speaker announced the official opening of the 2025 fiscal year budget hearing. And just to restate,
We apologize for that. Chocon is faced with some internet connectivity issue. We rejoin him once the network issue is sorted out as well. But he was giving us updates from the Capitol building on the grounds there right before the vehicles of the majority black speaker. So let's rejoin Chocon. Yeah, Chocon, go ahead, sir.
decided to tour this building. And the intention of the tour was to ascertain what are some of the things needed to make the building suitable for the holdings of the State of the Nation's address for the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Human Boakai, on the grounds of the Capitol building. So we are still here hoping and waiting to see what's going to happen after the hearing, the hearing that is currently ongoing, whether the deputy speaker or the speaker from the side of the majority bloc, they go to stay to talk, to brief us, or the committee on Ways, Means and Finance, whether they will be able to brief us on some of those issues on today. But during the hearing, during the official launch of the 2025 hearing, the speaker emphasized the revenue component. He urged the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, to be able to find new source of funding, revenue generation for the country, and so many other. He emphasized that they are intending to cut down waste. They are intending to cut down waste and to ensure that the taxpayers of Liberia can get the benefit of their money they are paying to the government of Liberia. So he also spoke about transparency and accountability, that under their watch and speakership of representatives, that the House will be transparent, will be accountable. The issue of corruption, all of that will be addressed, according to Speaker Richard Kuhn.
Okay, Trocon, if you are hearing us, when you look at the vehicle configuration of the majority black speaker, Richard Kuhn, do you see the presence of police officers, like police vehicles, as well, providing him with any sort of protective detail, Trocon? So we've lost Trocon Flama again. Let's see if we can connect with Nelson Collet or Haji Masale, one of the two, to bring us the latest updates on the grounds of the Capitol. This is the Spoon Network's coverage of the chaotic Capitol, a scene that ensued and has since ensued since the 17th of October 2024. Embattled Speaker Jonathan Fanati Kofa is still holding on. He's used all means available. Likewise, the majority black are still stubborn in their rebellious quest to get rid of Speaker Fanati Kofa. get rid of him, in a sense of getting him rid of the speakership position as well. But we've seen different angles to this battle. We've seen vehicles being parked adjacent each other, or not leave the parking space before you park there. You know, when Richard Nangbe Kun was elected speaker by the majority black, we saw the speaker's vehicle being perpetually parked in that space, not to allow Richard Nangbe Kun's vehicle to be parked in that space as well. We've seen the issue of the sermons being delivered by pastors from both ends. Remember, the first one was Pharaoh, let my people go, you know, you shall overcome. We've seen a lot of other things. We've seen staffers taking sides as well. Ordinary Liberians alike they've taken sides in this entire matter, but it has ensued on, it has dragged on for so long, Dennis. When you look at the position for which Speaker Kofa is currently in, the Supreme Court ruling is there, the interpretation is there. People have interpreted. But one clear thing that stood out was the fact that in that ruling, the Supreme Court was clear that the law is not clear on how to compel other members who are absent, you know, to return to session. How is Speaker Kofa going to do that? Is he going to reconcile? Is the majority black going to abandon their quest as far as they've come? You know, where do you see all of this going? Options available, or we'll still have this drag on until the State of the Nation that is slated for, according to our Constitution, the 4th working Monday of January, which is on the 27th of January 2025. Then he said, yeah,
So you said it all, Diamond. What we see here is the fight of hegemony, and when people are, fight of authority, one side wanting to claim authority over the other, that exists this tendency of one side not wanting to bow down to the other, and if the other side give in to the other side, they feel less, of importance. So you found out now that the minority bloc and the majority bloc are at a point where they are resolved, and the contending issue here for the embattled speaker is to have a quorum. And at this point, it's kind of difficult, for him to have a quorum, because without quorum, he cannot steer the affairs of the country. So if he cannot have a quorum, in the days to come, I foresee that, perhaps there will be some level of stepping aside to allow perhaps the majority bloc, go on with their intent, because the majority bloc as well is not willing to perhaps reconcile.
Dennis, let me just hold you there for a minute. We do see Richard Kun. So Haji, kindly unmute your microphone. Please do that for us. We see Richard Kun is departing. He's boarding his vehicle, and he's under heavy police presence as well. So Haji, kindly.
So that's Speaker Richard Namakun there leaving the grounds of the capital. He's been escorted with heavy security guard here on the grounds of the capital. So now majority of the lawmakers left the court, and they are making their way out of the grounds of the capital. So that Speaker Richard Namakun there leaving, and he's been followed by other lawmakers here on the grounds of the capital. So as you can see, majority of the lawmakers are boarding their vehicle to follow Honorable Richard Namakun. So we are waiting the deputy speaker. So that's Honorable Kofa there.
What did you achieve?
General Koga, can you describe today as a success for the majority black? Come again? So he said they are always succeeding. That was his last statement there when he wrote his leave for. So Samuel Koga, representative from Limba County, said they always succeeding. When I asked him whether today was a success for the majority bloc. So as you can see on your screen, those who are watching, that the security situation still remains.
Perhaps we have to hold you there for a minute. Let's join Nelson Colette. I see Nelson is making his way in the building. Nelson, where are you headed?
Okay, so Diamond, we've been we told that the Kofa is having a press conference, is about to speak to the media shortly. So that's where we're headed now, making our way to capture the engagement of the Council of Kofa.
Request for renovation.
That is expected to take place just any moment from now. Can you hear me?
Jonathan
Okay, so we are making our way now. Very shortly, we will enter this topic.
What we've gathered is that is about to address all the press about the majority bloc had
Line of it already on is that what you're telling me? Use power. You're not saying
in this matter, I think at the end of the day, the impactor speaker might resign because we have seen previous, controversy like this at the legislature in the case of Snow, in the case of Talo, when the executive was heavily involved. At the end of the day, those former speakers had to resign. So with
Nelson, you have to work on your audio, sir. The audio is really terrible. Somebody needs to go there and back up Nelson, either Haji. Haji, please do that. Please respond. Haji or Trokon, kindly respond to the speaker's floor, please. The audio from Nelson and the video is very terrible. Please do that.
That remove the speaker. When I know
Honorable Speaker, there are reports that some of your supporters, some lawmakers who support you, were at the forefront of some violent activities here this morning. Are you in the know? When I spoke of violent activities, it was super live. Let's understand what happened. It was super live. Forces of the national, the national police, who obviously are passive in this now, are working on the fact. You know, the interesting thing is that the local they're actually working around on the details that it's only when the so-called activity comes here, then you see that food. If they announce you're not coming here tomorrow, you're not getting no police here. Okay? You are the people representatives. I expect that. Oh, we are so glad because want to do we all want to go by the rule of law. The people also have decided, others have decided to be that system upside down.
Regardless of how you it is clear what the people declare as plenary and what will have legal effect. It seems not to a bad
well, they are not bad because they have, as I said before, they need a comfort of the executive branch. If the executive branch says there are officers here and there are members here to testify before them, if the executive branch says police here to brutalize their colleague, right now, Honorable Luther Collins is in the hospital. Okay, they use baton on him. Okay, they use tear gas on some members. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage? Why is the police? You go in every corner of the world. And you can see all parliament in the 20 here at this now. Do you see police there? Liberia. This is Liberia. And the executive branch must be free from complicity in this treasonous plot. Final two question. Final two. Final two.
Kofa, in the midst of everything that's happening here, from the onset of this saga, you said the legislature can handle this situation. You don't need executive intervention. Given what is happening now, what is transpiring with the executive and the majority bloc, are you disappointed in the action of the executive?
Of course, I'm disappointed. Of course, I'm extremely disappointed. We have numerous times registered to the executive branch that the rule of law must prevail. If they are not clear, they need to go ask the Supreme Court what the Supreme Court meant. But I suspect that everyone is clear what is meant here. What is happening is politics in its worst form and its tyranny in its best form.
Have you reached international partners on the saga? When you can actually accuse the police, I say whether you have the attention of the international partners.
I have had several conversations and I think they are aware.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Diamond, this is exactly where we are. The speaker have concluded
All right, folks, you just listened to the embattled Speaker of the 55th Legislature, Honorable Jonathan Fanati Kofa, addressing the media and rightly the executive of supporting tyranny come out to clearly didn't point out to who in the executive is behind this support for tyranny. Remember, the police is controlled by the Ministry of Justice, which is under the executive branch of government as well. He mentioned that a representative had been brutalized, Representative Luther Collins, according to Speaker Kofa, and a whole lot happening there as well. So we want to see if Nelson Colette can get us clearly so that we can hear from him the entirety of what was said by Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa. Nelson?
Yes, Emma, I can hear you. Okay, yes. Yeah, so I'm just listening to the brief engagement there from Councillor Speaker, Councillor Kofa, with the media here. And yes, he spoke of a couple of things just for the meetings he had with the media. He spoke about his disappointment with the Liberian National Police. According to him, the police has become party to this particular saga. He thinks that instead of having a neutral role, the Liberian National Police have taken a side, and that side being the majority black guys opposing to leadership. Now, according to Councillor Kofa, for every time you hear all the government is listening, there wouldn't be that
once you speak. Let your pulse just in audio. Hear you clearly.
Okay, so let me
when would it of Supreme Court be imposed? When will it be implemented? But now ask me.
Let me adjust my work for you.
Yes.
Yeah, let me your description about the NFP's performance today.
Earlier on today, some of the colleagues were seen preventing those deputy ministers from having access to the budget hearing. And 2 separate times I saw you accompanying one of the deputy ministers from the Ministry of Finance to ensure that she have access to the budget hearing. How can you describe some of the police today?
Before describing, can you just help me to just name 3 or 4 of them? Let
me name a first minister. The deputy
minister. Our police were preventing. Can you name some Alifo?
No, where I saw.
You said you saw some, my man. You scared to talk again?
I saw Representative Yeka Kolba.
Hey, you not need. I'm not answer a question, my man.
Yes, these were lawmakers.
Yeka Kolba, who else?
Luther Collins.
Luther Collins. Who else?
Jacob DB was.
Who else? Who else?
They go on the list. Yeah. So let's look at them.
The reason I'm asking me is you have repeatedly told us, or Kofa and his men have said to us, stand by the rule of law. That the people who stand by the rule of law should you. Let me go see it. And they say stand by the rule of law, but they're preventing agents of the executive from coming to perform their constitutional statutory responsibility. And in terms of describing the action, it was unlawful, it was uncalled for, it was unacceptable. It has no place in modern democracy. It has no place in a civilized society. Their behavior is condemnable to the highest degree. And let me say this, it is regrettable that 2 of the folks involved come from
the police brutalizing lawmakers, which is an indication that the so-called absentee lawmakers are getting aid and comfort from the executive branch in this treasonous plot. It is very unfortunate. It is not the right thing for our democracy. We call on all sides to step back, obey the rule of law, obey the precepts of the Supreme Court, who is the neutral arbiter. Now, there have been attempts to nuance the decision of the Supreme Court. Let me say this as a well-trained lawyer. The Supreme Court said a sitting of the plenary of the House of Representatives is composed of the simple majority, as in Article 33, and the Speaker, as in Article 49. The Supreme Court went on to say, any sitting or action that emanates from there, not in conformity with 33 and 49, is beyond the scope without legal authority and not cognizable at law. That is very simple and that is very clear.
Honorable Speaker,
just a minute, please.
We gather information that you went back to the Supreme Court. If that is true, tell us what is the reason of that.
No, we are consulting with our lawyers at this point.
And so, Honorable Speaker, I'm concerned about your post last Friday, immediately after the Supreme Court ruling, in which you concluded that you are contemplating on a transition. Why are you saying?
No, so we put out a reconciliatory statement last Friday. We will continue to encourage our members to come and sit together, let us reason together, and let the chips fall where they may.
Honorable Speaker, since just a minute, since the ruling of this.
Excuse me?
Why is the security say I'm going to try to receive on Niba County?
Did you receive any threat?
No, I'm not going to say I received a threat from Niba County. We received a threat last night, and the Joint Security is investigating that.
Honorable Speaker, there are reports that some of your supporters, some lawmakers who support you, were at the forefront of some violent activities here this morning. Are you in?
They were not at the forefront of violent activities. They were brutalized. Let's understand what happened. They were brutalized by forces of the Liberian National Police, who obviously is a party in this now, by virtue of the fact. You know, the interesting thing you got to look at is, when you see me walking around here, other than the detail that they gave to me, you don't see plenty police. The other lawmakers, you don't see plenty police. It's only when the so-called absentee black comes here that you see that force. If they announce they're not coming here tomorrow, you will not see one policeman here. Okay? We are the people's representative. We are not afraid of the people.
Hold on. Yes, you hold on.
The people are disappointed in terms of what is happening at the level of the Capitol building. They couldn't raise issue about the proceeding here. Are they concerned? Why will you let us say to the Liberian people?
Oh, we are concerned because, number one, the Supreme Court, we all want to go by the rule of law. The Supreme Court have decided. Others have decided to read that decision upside down. But regardless of how you read it, it is clear what the Supreme Court defined as plenary and what will have legal effect. That is clear. So I think what the people need to do is to pray on their lawmakers, to return to work.
Honorable Speaker, the majority of black seems not trying. Go ahead. The majority of black, as a current itself, it seems not to abide by the code ruling. So what's the next action?
Well, they are not abiding because they have, as I said before, the aid and comfort of the executive branch. If the executive branch sends their officers here and their members here to testify before them, if the executive branch sends police here to brutalize their colleagues. Right now, Honorable Luther Collins is in the hospital. Okay, they use baton on him. Okay, they use tear gas on some members. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage? Why is the police? You go in every corner of the world, and you can see all over Parliament, they'll be throwing chairs at each other. Do you see police there? Oh, this is Liberia. This is Liberia. And the executive branch must be free from complicity in this treasonous plot.
Final two questions. Kofa, in the midst of everything that's happening here, from the onset of this saga, you said the legislature can handle this situation. You don't need executive intervention. Given what is happening now, what is transpiring with the executive and the majority bloc, are you disappointed in the action of the executive?
Of course I'm disappointed. Of course I'm extremely disappointed. We have numerous times registered to the executive branch that the rule of law must prevail. If they are not clear, they need to go ask the Supreme Court what the Supreme Court meant. But I suspect that everyone is clear what is meant here. What is happening is politics in its worst form and its tyranny in its best form.
Final question. So what are you seek the attention of the international community?
I've had several conversations, and I think they are aware.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
As the folks travel the force of Speaker of the 55th Legislature, Speaker Fanatic Kofa, speaking to the media here on convention here at the grounds of the Capitol.
Okay, so you're listening to Spoon 107.5, a special coverage there from up Capitol Hill. Reporters posted up Capitol Hill, providing you every bit of happening there. So let's bring you this conversation with James Goulet of Bone County. He's a representative.
You normally have your city. I want to ask, are you talking about using the space tomorrow? For how long are you going to continue this battle with your colleagues preventing people that you're going to be summarizing to be appearing before you, and you have your colleague on the other hand preventing them? For how long are you going to continue this? On the other hand, do you think it's an embarrassment for your operation?
Thank you. The first thing I want to underline is few words you spoke of. On our English analysis, they were prevented. They were never prevented. That's why I say that tell the people the truth. They attempted preventing. Preventing is different from prevention. If they were not, if they were definitely be going on. Arrested by you know, I can make you here. Not to you. The People's Newspaper. I'll come back to you. Who newspaper? The People's Newspaper. We saying to you, the people were not prevented. Minority. Few came for the people who wanted to become gangsters, leaving their function in which they were elected duly to perform.
You're talking about my colleagues.
I said, if my colleague is going to work to fight gangsterism, how do you expect me to call him? My colleague coming in your word to prevent, attempting or preventing people from having access, having a face-to-face fight with the Liberia National Police, going to white tearing the police uniform. My brother, we do not respect the police. We don't want to respect the police. But there's one thing I want to know today, if you don't know. We respect the police because, number one, they flag, they shield, they are the symbol of the republic. You need to know that today. You know what I'm saying? That they're not the party that I was scared of. Officer, not the party that I was scared of. That our flag and the seal we are afraid of. It is the representation, it's a symbol of this nation. And then where I see red, white, and blue with the 5 star, I know that is Liberia. You know what I'm saying? We did not come here by coincidence. We came here as a result of preparation. We were processed. We were schooled before coming here. We are coming now.
We are nearing the state of the nation.
The president is still a nation. We know the town is still a nation. Now I'm running the history for you. All I know is a nation, true or false. We need to put that one in history book again. No. That the president will address the nation as soon as ever I know that time. There is no two brother. Yes, we are plenary. Plenary is for simple majority. The day Kofa get 37. Now the days I'm making mistake. I can't say. If he qualified 37 before his removal, that very day I will say, Mr. Speaker, but because of the failure to acquire 37 or more, you know what I'm saying? I come back asking you why we want to have a well, there's no water in it. Why? Why you want to have a well no water in it? Kofa is possessing a well no water in it. You said in the office as well, you say IUP. But yet, the authority is now within the authority is wretched language.
Are you still, just last from my end, are you still at RLG, and how long, since you believe you have achieved what you needed to achieve, are you still at RLG?
Can you tell me which part of the Liberian law or statute that says that the lawmaker should be at a specific place?
No, you are.
Hello?
I don't get no statute.
There is no statute in our jurisdiction, as far as I'm concerned, that says lawmaker should be at a particular place. No statute. We live where we want to live. You know something? My comfort, all I know, I should continue to do the work of my people. So the safety of my family, my friends, my constituents is what matters to me.
So you're telling us that you're comfortable at RLG, right? Good. Being there.
I don't love to be spoon-fed with words. Allow me to speak my own words. And I'm not saying I'm comfortable or not comfortable. I'm saying there is no statutory provision that tell me where to live. You know what I'm saying there? So it's a freedom of association. Why didn't you ask Representative Kofa when he was vying for the speakership, when he took the team to camp at Farmington Hotel?
That's why you different from Kofa.
Farmington and RJ, which one is more expensive? Which one is a 5-star hotel? So my issue I have with y'all is, you look at things from one side. They may carry all the ports of Farmington that were there. Some of y'all went down with them, and they put it on some of y'all.
Does that mean you should do the same?
Did I say I'm doing the same?
But you're giving an example that is.
No, I'm laying premise. You don't want me to conclude the premise. But say you want to conclude my premise, conclude me entertain another question. What's the next question?
Okay, thank you so much.
You went to RLG for a purpose. How long are you going to be there? Who told you I want to RLG for a purpose? Who told you that? Who told you that?
The world knows that.
Oh, you presume I want to for a purpose.
That's it. But I mean, definitely, you are there. You got it there for a purpose. So when are you going to be going to leave from this?
You want me to leave an RJ now?
I'm asking, when are you?
My band with RJ, does it have impact on you? Does it affect you?
Not me specifically.
Does it affect the Liberian people? The issue is my presence at RJ, does it affect the Liberian people? Anyway, where you stand, what do you do I tell you where you stand?
Well, I think there's a conscious effort to ignore the Supreme Court and defy the Supreme Court ruling. The disappointing part is we see members of the executive and we see the police brutalizing lawmakers, which is an indication that the so-called absentee lawmakers are getting aid and comfort from the executive branch in this treasonous plot. It is very unfortunate. It is not the right thing for our democracy. We call on all sides to step back, obey the rule of law, obey the precepts of the Supreme Court, who is the neutral arbiter. Now, there have been attempts to nuance the decision of the Supreme Court. Let me say this as a well-trained lawyer. The Supreme Court said a sitting of the plenary of the House of Representatives is composed of the simple majority, as in Article 33, and the Speaker, as in Article 49. The Supreme Court went on to say, any sitting or action that emanates from there, not in conformity with 33 and 49, is beyond the scope of our legal authority and not cognizable at law. That is very simple and that is very clear.
Honorable Speaker,
just a minute, please.
We gather information that you went back to the Supreme Court. If that is true, tell us what is the reason of that.
No, we are consulting with our lawyers at this point.
And so, Honorable Speaker, I'm concerned about your post last Friday, immediately after the Supreme Court ruling, in which you concluded that you are contemplating on a transition. Why are you saying?
No, so we put out a reconciliatory statement last Friday. We will continue to encourage our members to come and sit together, let us reason together, and let the chips fall where they may.
Honorable Speaker, since just a minute, since the ruling of the
Excuse me?
Why is the security say when the threat you receive on Nima County?
Did you receive any threat? No, I'm not going to say I received a threat from Nima County. We received a threat last night, and the Joint Security is investigating that.
Honorable Speaker, there are reports that some of your supporters, some lawmakers who support you, were at the forefront of some violent activities here this morning. Are you in?
They were not at the forefront of violent activities. They were brutalized. Let's understand what happened. They were brutalized by forces of the Liberian National Police, who obviously is a party in this now, by virtue of the fact. You know, the interesting thing you got to look at is, when you see me walking around here, other than the detail that they gave to me, you don't see plenty police. The other lawmakers, you don't see plenty police. It's only when the so-called absentee black comes here that you see that force. If they announce they're not coming here tomorrow, you will not see one policeman here. Okay? We are the people's representative. We are not afraid of the people.
The Hold on.
Yes, you hold on.
The people are disappointed in terms of what is happening at the level of the Capitol building. They cannot raise issue about the proceeding here. And they're concerned, why will you let us say to the Liberian people?
Oh, we are concerned because, number one, the Supreme Court, we all want to go by the rule of law. The Supreme Court have decided. Others have decided to read that decision upside down. But regardless of how you read it, it is clear what the Supreme Court defined as plenary and what will have legal effect. That is clear. So I think what the people need to do is to pray on their lawmakers, to return to work.
Honorable Speaker, the majority black seems not fine. Go ahead. The majority black, as it calls themselves, it seems not to abide by the code ruling. So what's the next action?
Well, they are not abiding because they have, as I said before, the aid and comfort of the executive branch. If the executive branch sends their officers here and their members here to testify before them, if the executive branch sends police here to brutalize their colleagues. Right now, Honorable Luther Collins is in the hospital. Okay? They use baton on him. Okay? They use tear gas on some members. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage? Why is the police? You go in every corner of the world, and you can see all over Parliament, they'll be throwing chairs at each other. Do you see police there? Oh, this is Liberia. This is Liberia. And the executive branch must be free from complicity in this treasonous plot.
Final two questions. Kofa, in the midst of everything that's happening here, from the onset of this saga, you said the legislature can handle this situation. You don't need executive intervention. Given what is happening now, what is transpiring with the executive and the majority bloc, are you disappointed in the action of this?
Of course I'm disappointed. Of course I'm extremely disappointed. We have numerous times registered to the executive branch that the rule of law must prevail. If they are not clear, they need to go ask the Supreme Court what the Supreme Court meant. But I suspect that everyone is clear what is meant here. What is happening is politics in its worst form, and it's tyranny in its best form.
Final question. Whether you have seek the attention of the international community.
I have had several conversations, and I think they are aware.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a respect for democratic reasonings. But you sat down, all the things you have done, the steps you have taken, everything that passed, it belated. I yet go say Kofa one transition from where to where. I think to lawmaker to the private library. But I think I transition from let's again. We took him from there. 50 signatories. 50 president signed a resolution. But let me say this. Don't ask now everybody. Kofa feel himself. When we were on our resolution, that morning, that Thursday morning, I can remember, Kofa said, amen. You go sound. When we go in the vote, you'll vote against it. But when other legal scholars told him it was late for him, there is no law that says you don't have vote. They say resolution. So as making a heaven reach out number 50, We read it. So who remove it? You remove it, sir. You are here over for a couple of weeks. For over more over for now, we get it. You said Germany go sign for resolution. So that's what I say Germany go.
Okay, let's know what's happening live from the Temple of Justice. Is it Nelson there? Hello?
Yeah, you can see this is Nelson. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you, Nelson. You live
No,
from the
sorry.
Temple of Justice.
No, sorry. That was a wrong.
Typical error. Okay.
We still at the grounds of the legislature. We logged in with another gadget, so that's why you see.
Okay. Yeah. So
But we still
tell
on
us what's going on at your end.
Yeah. So at the moment we have speaker. Let's say the speaker from the majority bloc, Speaker Richard Nagbekun, he has left, and you have Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala also left. Councillor Kofa, the speaker from the minority bloc, is still here. And so there's still a huge presence here at Yekezi. The security presence is still huge. You still see officers of the Liberian National Police moving in from one end to another. And you have Liberians as well who are still here trying to see the climax of this entire activity, how exactly it's going to end up. We will give you a view of the entrance there. But Yekezi, I would appreciate if you were to just make the correction with respect to the caption there. We're not at the Temple of Justice, but rather on the grounds of the legislature. Initially, there were 3 vehicles that were turned over, Yekezi. 2 of the 3 vehicles have been driven out of the premises of the legislature. One of the vehicles was given, as you know, to the Director of Press, Robert Haynes, and the Deputy Chief Clerk, and that of the Chief Clerk. But and you also know that the chief clerk is on leave at the moment. So you have apparently one of the vehicles, the one belonging to her, is still here. But on the flip side, where you have the 2 other vehicles, they were driven out, Robert Haynes and the one belonging to the deputy chief clerk, they've been driven out of the premises of the legislature. Just a few minutes after we saw the second turning over of these vehicles, they were being driven out of the premises here of the legislature. So there's still security presence, but the atmosphere is relatively calm because most of the happenings have gone on despite several attempts by some of the folks who oppose the majority bloc to disrupt the official opening of the budget hearing here today. That did not succeed. It didn't turn out to be the reality. They were able to successfully conclude their process, and of course, the 2 major or the 2 heads of this bloc have left. So at the moment, you have very few Liberians still here, but in the midst of that, there is still a huge presence of the security here, as you see at the end there, facing the executive mansion. You still see the checkpoint there. The securities here at the grounds of the legislature and that of state security, the Liberian National Police, they are still here making sure that they control the situation, that crime is maintained here on the grounds of the legislature.
Thank you so much, Nelson Collet, for bringing us up to speed with the current atmosphere there on the grounds of the capital. Well, folks, we've been here bringing to you unprecedented coverage, as we always do here on the Spoon Network, of happenings up chaotic Capitol Hill. The legislature, that is the House of Representatives, has been embroiled in a leadership impasse since the 17th of October 2024. We're gradually counting down days to enter the year 2025. Remember, President Boakai has been dated by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia on the 4th working Monday in the month of January, addresses the nation through the legislature by giving his legislative agenda for the year. There's been a lot of political intricacies and interplays and all of what's been happening. But as it stands, the majority black is now backing down. The rebellious group are still stubborn in their quest to oust Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa. Well, Speaker Kofa has issued a statement today where he said the executive has provided the cushion to the rebellious majority black by providing them security presence, by availing its agents to the majority black to carry on their quote unquote opening of the budget hearing by submitting the draft fiscal year 2025 budget to the majority black. And all of these things, according to Speaker Kofa, are signs and indicators that the executive is playing ball with the majority black. As we wrap up for today, another episode in the Chaotic Capital series, Denise, let's wrap up on activities that we witnessed this morning, from the scuffle between lawmakers, scuffling and hitting up police officers, the pushing, the shoving, the attempt to break tables by Representative Dixon Sibo, and all of what we witnessed today. Lawmakers, behaving in a manner and form that is not honorable at all. But they say it's a political theater and these things happen. Your take on today's events?
Yes, Diamond, like you rightly said, the issue this morning, seeing lawmakers being pushed by, police officers, seeing them in scuffle with police officer, those who Liberians see as, honorable, who be engaged in such an act, was actually unfortunate to have seen that. And the entire situation now, from that scuffle to the issue of the budget, hearing there with the deputy minister for budget and the representatives from the LRA, it shows that at this point in time, the executive branch is, doing business with the majority black, which shows at some point in time that the minority black and the embattled speaker is at a struggling point, where he sees it kind of a bit, a struggle. I would say a struggle for him to have quorum. So this is two ways. He doesn't have the quorum, and he's unable at this moment to convince his colleagues as well, to have them come and sit on his gavel. That is by having the quorum. So in this situation where we hope to see what will happen on tomorrow, if the embattled speaker cannot have this quorum and cannot have his colleagues from the other side, the majority bloc, agreeing to come honor his gavel, it becomes a struggle for him. And when you are at a point in authority where there's struggled, to balance here and there, to gain the confidence again of the other side, and you realize that the other side is a bit weighty, they have the way, they have the manpower to conduct business. It shows that at some point in time, it is important that perhaps you give in, because you cannot continue to struggle, continue to use resources to go to the court that you were depending on, perhaps to have some, say in it, and some interpretation that will bring the entire impasse at a logical conclusion. The court led you in a situation where there's more room for interpretation. So from my end, I would say it is important that the embattled speaker, see reason, if they necessary, to let go the entire fight, because at this point it is good that the rule of the law should be respected. The rule of the law should be respected, and that is a good thing that he's doing to defend the rule of the law. But at this point where you see that it's no longer about your colleagues, it is no longer about your colleagues, the fight with your colleagues, like he rightly said, that in other parliament around the world, you see they take chairs, they knock it on their colleagues' head, and they talk so yeah, and at the end of the day they resolve their situation. But at the point where continuously, even the deputy speaker Thomas Fala, for some time we haven't seen him, but now we are seeing him. He has resurfaced in the picture, where he's backing the now speaker for the majority black, Speaker Kun, and with the people from LRA and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, it shows that thing the battle speaker is losing it, in terms of his quest to remain the speaker of the legislature.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dennis Nipson, for weighing in on what all we've witnessed since the 17th of October 2024 up to present today. Well, we started off our broadcast with some members of the minority black or the speakers black in their foiled attempt to stop agents of the executive, mainly those institutions that were highlighted to be entertained today by the majority black in their quest to carry out budgetary hearings. Well, Representative Marvin Cole of Bone County didn't succeed. Representative Yeke Koluba as well, Representative Luther Collins, Representative DB, and the rest are still the folks from the LRA and the Ministry of Finance were hosted in the office of Deputy Speaker Thomas P. Fala. Quote unquote, a ceremony marking the opening of budget hearings was conducted, spearheaded by the majority black's own chairperson on Ways, Means, and Finance, Representative P. Mike Jury. The majority's black speaker, Richard Nangbekun, also in remarks, said that the legislature is going to work with the executive in making sure that everything is on course, and he declared budget open, that's the budget hearings opened as well. We did see scuffles and altercations as well between lawmakers who were attempting to force their way in the office of the deputy speaker. Those attempts were repelled by the Liberian National Police, and as I said earlier, the official opening of the budget hearings took place. Well, Speaker Kofa then made his way on the grounds of the Capitol, where he addressed the press briefly. In that his brief address, he said the executive has provided cushion, thereby playing its hands and showing its hands in this entire legislative saga. The embattled speaker said by providing police presence and the rest to make sure that the rebellious majority black do have their way on Capitol Hill is a clear indication that the executive is behind this treasonous tyranny, according to embattled Speaker J. Fonanti Kofa. Well, vehicles were turned over for the second time to heads of departments there at the House of Representatives. And again, we talked about all of those things. Another episode in this series titled Chaotic Capital. Liberians, women abroad are all vested in what is going to happen. Others are saying Speaker Kofa should just forget it. He has fought a good fight, but Speaker Kofa has said resignation is not an option as to how he is going to reconcile, as he did in his Facebook post, or how he's going to transition as well. Those questions remained unanswered. Until we can get an answer to those questions, there will continue to be both sides of the divide up Capitol Hill. We'll go to the phone lines for at least 10 minutes for Liberians, women abroad, to tell us exactly what their thoughts, their comments, and their opinions are concerning what has unfolded on Capitol Hill. The budget for fiscal year 2025, the draft budget hearings has begun. The majority black asserting that they are in control of all of what is happening up Capitol Hill. As Speaker Kofa clinges on to his speakership tenure, well, he has been unable to get quorum to conduct official business. 077771075 055511075. Those are the numbers to call. 1 minute per caller. 077771075 055511075. Call us up and let us know what's your take on all of what is happening up Capitol Hill. Let's take this person here. 1 minute, please, so that we allow others to talk. Hello.
Yes, thank you. My name is Thomas Kuma, and I call you from Upper Car.
You're welcome, Thomas. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I follow actually from start to end, and it's chaotic, like you said, the caption. This is not something we opted for, but we pray for peace and calm in the House of Representatives so that we can have a peaceful country. Because I listened to one of the journalists was saying Liberia is turning to the dark days, and we don't want to see that happening. We pray that at the end of the day, all of them will have a time to smile on the right people. Thank you so much for affording me the time.
Thank you, Mr. Kumen. Let's take this next person here. Hello.
How are you, Damo?
Good. Let's hear you out, please. 1 minute, sir. Quickly.
Yeah. This is Abu Bakar honestly. Damo, the thing of everybody's seen it. Know where you'll be digging well, but to say in our place, when the Kofa is over for him. If the thing goes still on small step, better than big one. You continue passing the thing, the and Google will express them from our house. No way for the Kofa, you can't go no session, nobody coming to you. We don't say for say, what reason for God in heaven state? Okay, Supreme Court. So what is? What's going to go against what our people and send go to government or different workers the executive see now that is the material our web they have to pass we will distribute the project to customer coming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
What will come Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take this next person here. Hello.
Yes, hello.
You live, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is James Collins, and I call you from the Kawa, New Georgia community. First of all, based on the police at the Capitol Hill, at the Capitol building today, in my mind, I think Councillor Kofa need to see it necessary to resign. Because if Councillor Kofa could have obtained a quorum of 37%, I could be one person pushing him, but right now he cannot even conduct a session. And the politics gameplay at that legislature is on game. In the world of the legislature is highly politically driven.
Okay.
So, for the sake of the country, for the sake of peace, we all speak of Kofa to resign. Let the country progress. Women interest cannot be about a state interest. In the progress as a state, as a people, majority of the police don't want to work with him.
Point well made.
We need to see that necessary and resign.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. A pleasant afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing today?
I'm pretty well, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, this is Robo. I call from Painesville. You know, I have been wondering as to whether this speakership thing here is an inheritance of everybody. That when you are told we don't want you, you will stick onto it for what? I don't care what Speaker Kofa does from now to Judgment Day. Once he cannot get the number to be able to conduct, the Liberian people business, let him leave. So what they said, it's his inheritance, or is it something that a forefathers and things, or owned before, that he's sticking to it? You want to force it from out of here and he's sticking to it? It's unfortunate. That person behaving like this. They want $1.5 million project here. You can't stay now.
Thank you. All right, folks, that's all the time we have to take calls. Thank you so much for watching. And you can rest assured that tomorrow, the Spoon Network will be on the grounds of the Capitol again to provide to you a coverage of each and every angle. Everything that unfolds there tomorrow is going to be captured by our cameras as well. Many thanks to our entire crew, our OB crew there on the grounds of the Capitol. We say thank you for bringing us all of those images. We appreciate your efforts as well. To our studio crew here, Yakaz Iswigwe and Dennis Nipson formed part of this production as well. My name is Diamond Slanger, bidding you a very good afternoon from Liberia, a country that has got, well, 1.5 or 2 speakers. It's left with you to decide. There is one embattled speaker and there is one appointed or elected speaker from the rebellious majority black. At the end of the day, Liberians are vested in what's happening up Capitol Hill and the country needs to run. All right, folks, have for yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day and bye-bye.